Betty, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone! I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
No one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle.
You can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Welcome to the Zedos Game podcast. We're going to go straight into it. This is 142, I believe, episode. And there's a lot of people here today. You guys can introduce yourself. We've got Satch. We've got... Who's next? Sam. You can't see what I can see, so there's no, I have to introduce you. Neil. And you've got... I'm sorry, I forgot your name in the bottom left here. I can't see. Jerome. Okay, Jerome. And we've got Ken from Creative Control, and we've got myself. Welcome to the party, pals. And first off, we're going to jump straight into the trailers. And the first trailer is a big one. It's one from Mr. Ridley Scott himself, The Last Duel. And for me, it's got Ridley Scott in it. It's got Ridley Scott in it, so that's all me. I'm going to let everyone else talk, and I'm going to go last. What did you guys make of the trailer?
The only thing I wasn't feeling about the trailer was the hair. Listen, right? I thought them bowler cuts, and I was just like, it took me right back to the 90s in high school. And I was just like, oh dear.
I mean,
for the times, man, they were the times.
Yeah, get with the times, dude.
It was fashionable then, and it was not fashionable all the way back then.
Everyone's a critic.
I thought it looked epic. Huge scale. It looked fantastic. The cinematography. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon on screen together again. Did they co-write this one?
I think they did. Yeah.
I think they co-wrote this one. First time since Goodwill. So. I'm hoping big things from this. You know, it's a really talented cast. I think that he's actually said it, Matt Damon, where he still gets ribbing from his daughter for the Great Wall. So I think he really wants to make a really good period epic piece. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, okay, yeah, we had that. Let's do something a little bit different. And like you say, Ridley Scott behind it.
Yeah.
To me, it looks like it's got a win all over it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it just depends on how the story plays out. So yeah, that's how I felt about it. I thought that's one of the better trailers I've seen in quite a while. Yeah,
it really is. Who wants to take a jab? Neil?
Well, yeah, other than what I was saying about the haircuts. No, I agree wholeheartedly with Ken. It really does look good. It looks interesting. It's like, it's just got a feel to it that is, I guess you could say it's just a Ridley Scott feel to it.
Ever since Gladiator, you could just the cinematography, and the way it's cut, the way it's edited, there's a Ridley Scott stamp on it that no other epic does. Even Kingdom of Heaven feels that way. Even that's not his best, but Kingdom of Heaven has his stamp. It looks like a Ridley Scott film. I mean. The fact that it's co-written by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, it's going to be well written.
It's the screenplay because it's based on a book. So
right.
Co-written the screenplay, not like an original story.
Yeah.
Based on a true story. So.
Yeah. It says that right at the beginning, based on the true story.
Yeah.
You're good.
One thing, sorry, I said there's a bit of a symmetry with this because if I remember correctly, like his first kind of big. Well, not big, but his first kind of real like stamp of as a filmmaker was Duelist.
Yes, yeah.
But now he's popping up with The Last Duel.
Yeah.
Like, don't be foreboding, bro.
Yeah. Well, he's gone full circle. he's gone straight back to kind of something that made his name essentially, or put his name on the map. With the Duelist anyway. And
I'm glad they're not trying to do French accents either because it's based in France. So
just
been shocking.
Yeah, just go with your own accent, guys. It's easy. It's the easier way.
I would love to hear those French accents. I mean, like incredible.
Sam, what did you make of this?
I think it was really nice to see a period film that looks very visually engaging. I find so many of them are just like drab and grey and brown. I get that's probably more accurate, but I think it was nice to see one that I'm like, this actually looks very visually impressive. I'm looking forward to actually seeing some of the visual elements of it.
Yeah,
and I think it's all just seeing a modern kind of period film with action in it is something I'm trying to think back on the last one I saw I enjoyed that, and I can't think of any in maybe like the last. It's a very like 90s and early 2000s kind of thing, and I feel like there haven't been quite as many in the last like 10-20 years.
Yeah, I guess the only one that kind of stands out is the Zack Snyder one, the 300, which is it's fictional but it's true as well in the same. But it's got a very comic book style to it. But that's the really last sword and sandals, if you can call that in the same vein, that stands out in terms of what's the word for it? A grand epic scale. I can't find the word for it, but yeah, you've got the idea. But yeah, you're probably right. There isn't anything that looks like this film from this standpoint. So
and they had a huge gap in production as well because they started filming in February 2020.
Right.
March, then COVID hit, and then they didn't start filming again until September. So it had a huge gap between March and September, and then they finished filming. I think it was in October or December or something like that. So from a continuity point of view, that would have been really difficult because all those actors, haircuts, makeup, whatever it is, they would have had to carry that through,
right,
and everything like that. So it'd be interesting. I'm sure that's probably a really hard production, especially because of the size of it.
Yeah, I freaking bet. I mean, when you're working on a Ridley Scott film, he usually goes quite practical and quite.
Because they were filming in France as well.
Oh, they were filming. Okay. So they weren't filming in London. I assumed that Ridley Scott filmed over here, but that makes sense. He's a on the set kind of guy. My new crush now is I can't remember the actress's name, but she's in Killing.
Coma?
Yes, I love this woman. Before it used to be Rebecca Hall, but now it's Jodie Comer. She is my love interest now. She can do no wrong in my eyes. And that is my review on that. I'm going straight into the next one. Oh no, Satch! Satch, what do you make of this? You're on mute, Satch.
Muted.
I was literally going to skip right over Satch. Satch?
Still on mute, bro.
You know what it is? He's upset that you betrayed Rebecca Hall.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I think it sucks, man. It looks fucking daub and looks like anybody directed it. Now, of course, it's going to be great, man. I mean, Ridley Scott. Be interesting to see what Ben Affleck and Matt Damon whip out because obviously this is a screenplay that they both wrote. They haven't actually written anything together in a really long time, and it's good to see them back on the screen because they totally have chemistry. I want to see how Adam Driver carries his character because Adam Driver is just one of those dynamic actors. He's probably one of the best working actors today, out of all the young talent right at the moment. And
young talent, he's nearly my age.
Yeah, but he's only really been on the scene for the past 5-6 years, as a A-lister, and he's just never disappointed. Even in a shit film, that guy can be the best thing about that shit film. And I'm not going into that. Take it what you want.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no clue.
But hopefully he'll bring them Sith skills or whatever they call them skills to the table in the sword fights with Damon. Bourne versus him, can't wait, man.
Bourne versus Kylo Ren.
Yeah, Bourne versus Kylo Ren. Who will win?
You never know.
My money's on Jason Bourne, though. I'm just putting it out there. But this is based on real life.
You don't know about them recovery powers.
Oh, we're going full meta now today, are we?
So yeah.
Okay. Well, it looks great. I'm sure there's going to be another trailer for it, and all I can say that this is I'm going straight to the cinema to see this. So
I want to avoid a future trailer. I don't want any more.
Yeah.
I see it anyway, so I don't want anything more.
Yeah, sold. Okay, on to the next trailer, and that is Demonic. And I didn't like the first trailer to this one, but this has this makes the premise a little bit more interesting. It's the Matrix with horror, with corporate espionage, it seems. Yeah, that's fascinating. I don't particularly like Blomkamp as a director. There's only one film of his that I like, but this does look really interesting, and much more better crafted than the last trailer. What did you guys make of this?
I thought the first trailer was terrible. I think we discussed the first trailer when it came out.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I was unimpressed. This one, infinitely better. I feel like he probably saw the first trailer and was cussing out whoever edited it and edited himself.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Jerome, what did you make of this?
Yeah, I've never seen the first trailer, so I'm glad I didn't. It's really good. Yeah, Blomkamp hasn't really made a film for a while now, hasn't it? Since Chappie, so this is kind of like a different bit of horror. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I tell you what this reminds me of. It reminds me of that film The Cell with Jennifer Lopez, because I had a similar thing.
Right.
In someone's mind, and it's like a horror kind of style. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It looks pretty good.
Yeah. Sam, what did you make of this?
I think like the concept seems really interesting, and I'll probably give it a watch to see how it executes it. But from the trailer, it looks a little bit kind of generic, like 2010's horror film. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. Nothing really about it stood out as like, oh, I need to go see this. Like I remember when I saw like trailers for like stuff like It Follows. It was kind of like,
It Follows is great.
This is really different. There's something new here. But with this, it's just kind of like it's got a really cool concept. But I mean, I'll be interested to see how the execution goes.
Yeah. Saj.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of intrigued to see how he deals with horror. To be honest, because it's a genre that like he's never done. He's always renowned for sci-fi. One thing straight off the bat, the cinematography looks very different compared to what he usually does with the past, with his whole filmography. So I'm quite excited to see what kind of visuals we get out of this as well. But yeah, cool concept. Definitely like the concept. I don't hate the original trailer. I was intrigued, but I remember I was the only person. But then, to be honest, I've never disliked the film of his. I'm in that camp where he's just never really disappointed me. I know a lot of people didn't like Chappie. I know a lot of people didn't really care for Elysium, but I thought they were really good sci-fi films. But because we live in an age where big sci-fi is quite minimal, and I really felt District 9, he really like unleashed, the genre again, because it was dormant for a while before that came out. And then since we've had copycats and we've had like, sci-fi in other kind of ways. And I think also in the past like 5 years, sci-fi has made it more and more to independent films. Like we're seeing more and more of it, because of the way that independent filmmakers have access to stuff like After Effects and stuff, which we never really had all the tools back then. So it'd be good to see, if anything, sci-fi on a budget back on the big screen again, rather than something on a shoestring budget that we can see what it is, but it's not quite there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah,
Ken.
Yeah, I didn't remember the trailer until she got into the bit where she started being scanned into the thing, and I can't remember the visuals from the first trailer. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Blomkamp, he's like written, directed, and produced this. So basically, he was supposed to be filming The Inferno, but because of the pandemic, that got pushed back. So basically, he's like, I've got a smaller film with a much smaller cast. I can film over the summer, so it was kind of really done under the radar. It looked okay, but I don't know if it was just the trailer, but yes, I like the concept. But again, the trailer didn't really grab me.
Yeah.
I just thought, meh. So yeah, I didn't really feel anything for it, to be honest. I do like him as a director, like Sasha said. I do, I thought Elysium was decent. I thought Chappie was quite good, to be fair. And District 9 is phenomenal. So I think he's just been in a position where he's started a lot of projects, but they haven't come to fruition because he's supposed to be doing like Aliens, and he's supposed to be doing all this stuff, and he put loads of stuff and time into different projects, which just didn't happen. So yeah, so like, almost 6 films, 6 years between films. It's quite a long time, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But I'll see it because I like him as a director as opposed to what the trailer sold.
Right, okay. Well, that's if anything, I think it sits in a place where it will tantalize sci-fi fans and tantalize horror fans, and so there's a bridge there or gap in the what's that gap in the system? I don't know what the term
gap
is.
In the market.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Okay, well, onto the next one, which I'm guessing some people will be divided by, but Ghostbusters Afterlife. Okay, so after Ghostbusters 2016, which I've not seen, so I'm just going to say that now.
What movie? I'm sorry, the last Ghostbusters.
My eyes.
Okay. After Ghostbusters 1989, this has come, but there was something that happened in between that, but this is the new one. And
it was on the video game. It was awesome.
Anyway, this has come out. This trailer's come out, and I've got to say myself, I kind of like it. I like where they're going. You can't. Unfortunately, one of the members has died, Harold Ramis, and so they missed their boat on what I think they could have made this into, and so what they're doing with it now, it's not what I expected, but I like it, and so again, this is something I was telling Colin yesterday. This is something that I would go watch with my niece, and I could get something with it because it's something I know all the little ins and outs, the little nods. Yeah, the little inside jokes, the little nods, all the little intricacies of Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the traps, all the gadgets. You can kind of bridge that gap when you're watching it with someone that's younger that may not know the property. I really liked the trailer. It was and they're very good to hide, because I think there's more to this film than they're letting on, and they've hidden a lot, and I think that's Reitman that did that. So yeah, don't give them don't show them this, don't show them that, show them enough to entice. And so I'll leave it at that. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I mean, I've watched this trailer like about 8 times, man, and like the first time I saw it, like yesterday, I was at a funeral, and after the funeral, we were basically at somebody's house watching a Zoom funeral kind of thing, and the trailer dropped around then, and my mate put it on like while we were drinking and stuff, and people were talking in the room, and this isn't how I watch trailers, so I saw it, but you know what I mean, the impact wasn't there yet because people were talking over it.
Put it on the big screen, put the speakers on loud so no one can talk.
So I watched it again at home when I came home, and like put my headphones on and shit and watched it on my 50-inch TV, and fucking hell, man, like obviously I missed so much stuff. I missed the button at the end. I missed loads of stuff, and then when I saw it second time, my god, man, it's so good. It's so good. This is like, for me, all right, there was there was Star Wars, Indiana Jones. Ghostbusters was definitely up there growing up. I mean, hell, going to Ken's Halloween's parties every year. What did I dress up as? Fucking
Slimer.
Every year. Every fucking year. So, I can't wait to see this film, man. It had all the bells and whistles. And you are right, Joe. I mean, the ship has sailed on all of them coming back together in the movie that we want. And realistically, when it comes down to it, Bill Murray never wanted to come back. Never wanted to come back to it and be the lead in the Ghostbusters 3. He was very unhappy with number 2, and it was always him that was kind of giving him the runaround and stuff. And when you look into different iterations of the script for Ghostbusters 3 over the past couple of years, they weren't very good, and the one that was good got turned into the video game, and then after that game, the rest of the scripts were just kind of laughable, because it was just Bill Murray will throw them a bone.
Well, one got made into a film.
Well, no, that's after the Ghostbusters 3.
I know that.
Yeah. But yeah, that was something else, because it had nothing to do with Reitman and crew.
Mhm.
But like, if you look at their stuff after the game, it was just like there was one where Bill Murray was a ghost kind of thing as a cameo, because he said it as a joke. They took him seriously, and they wrote him a script with him as a ghost.
I would hate that
he
film.
has to do one day of filming, and then he turned around and goes, "I was joking. It's not. No, I'm not going to do that." And do you know what I mean? Like, they went the 2016 route, didn't work out for them, and yeah, we are where we are. And to be quite honest, sometimes you've got to go through bad shit to get good shit. You know what I mean? And this looks and hopefully is good shit. And I'm there.
Okay, Ken, you were about to say something.
Sorry,
No, it's fine. No, chills with that trailer, man. I got such a good vibe from it. This is where I always thought the franchise should go. So, like in the past 10 to 15 years, I don't think Ghostbusters 3 would have worked with the centric characters anyway. Potentially, I think they needed to have that young blood, and it was always going to be sort of like a passing of the torch. But now it's got to the point where they're very old, you know. So, so you know, they've gone for the much younger, sort of like the Stranger Things kind of vibe and audience. So yeah, you know, it's a really good you know, in terms of the director, you know, it's co-written and directed by the son who did the first one, you know, so there's a lot of passion and love there. In terms of spoilers, in case you guys don't want to know this, because you might want to mute your own audio on the chat, but we do know who's returning, because they did a Vanity Fair interview several months back, and Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, they're all there filming. Annie Potts, Sigourney Weaver, they're all back. So in various forms, you know, and I think by, you know, and basically there are proton packs involved. So yeah, that phone call at the end is going to be original 3 coming back, helping the kids defeat what Venkman was trying. Sorry, not Venkman. Yeah, was trying to, you know, figure out in that house and stuff like that. The only person they couldn't get back was Rick Moranis. But they tried, but apparently they couldn't. Whether that's going to be a hidden cameo or like a surprise one, but apparently he didn't. But yeah, and I think they, you know, we're going to see enough of the new cast that it's going to, dispel the taste that we had from that 2016, because they all did cameos. That's fucking dreadful. You know, it was just like, it was embarrassing seeing them up there having to do that shit, you know, because it just seemed to be like pressured into it by Sony. But this was this is something they came back because they had the love for it, you know, and they obviously agreed with what was happening with the characters. So yeah, just, you know, seeing Ecto-1 rolling around again, and that side door coming out, and you know, just awesome. You know, when I felt it's an updated trailer from the first one, it's very similar in most aspects, but when I saw that first trailer, I went out and bought the Ecto-1.
Yeah, I see it.
And that's the one for the film. It's got little like rust parts on it and stuff like that.
Right.
It's got the ejecting side door and everything, and I was just like, yeah, I'm all in for this film. So it's probably my most anticipated film now to the end of the year.
Ooh, okay.
You know, even with the Marvel movies, to be honest, this one, you know, other than Spider-Man, I think this one, this is in that kind of top 2 tier.
Yeah. That's a good glowing review there. Sam, what did you make of it? Sam?
Like one of my top films of the kind of this year coming up, I think, with the talent they've got involved, and obviously being able to get back the old cast, the fact they've signed on for it, I think we're in for a real treat with it. The only one thing I was kind of like maybe not sure about is that I felt like from the trailer we haven't got to see much of the humor of the film, and I'm hoping that it does kind of have that classic Ghostbusters humor, because that was a big part of why I enjoyed those films. It's kind of that they're quite comedic, and then when the trailer was quite serious, I'm sort of like, okay, like obviously you're showing very little of the film, so that's kind of right up until the film comes out. We'll wait and see on that, but I'm hoping that it maintains that kind of same feeling that the original had.
It's going to be real interesting, because I do think a lot of the first 2 films, Harold Ramis, well obviously Aykroyd wrote the first 2, and he's responsible for a lot of the lore, because like he's a huge like paranormal nut, but Harold Ramis, he was the filmmaker out of the two. He was the guy that knew what was expected from a joke and a skit. I mean, they're both Saturday Night Live guys, but Ramis more so.
I think they all are.
It'll be interesting to see what Jason Reitman and his writing partner, because I know the script writers are Jason Reitman, his writing partner, and Dan Aykroyd. So it'll be interesting to see whether they actually do tap into that 80s kind of, that kind of like humor that they have in the first two films. So, well, more, or should I say the first one more, because second one had it in places, but let's face it, it was a special effects show, but I loved it.
Really?
I loved it.
No, dude, not really. Watch that second film again, and it's got the same amount of set pieces that the first one has. It's more spectacular, but there aren't that many set pieces in that film, man. I don't
know, man. It's a bit toned down, man, because you're not getting ghost hand jobs and fucking and you know what I mean. That wasn't even in the original one. It was
the ghost hand job. All you see.
It was a blowjob. What was it?
It's a blowjob.
What's going on? It was a blowjob. Yeah, it was mouth. Yeah, sorry, I meant blowjob. But there you go, man. That was in there. The first one was like a little bit more raunchier, you know what I mean, for what it was. And then obviously by the time the second one came out, they toned it down for the kids, because obviously we had the real Ghostbusters out, and the cartoon real Ghostbusters, and they toned it down a bit, man. I'm just saying the first one I preferred more than the second one, even like now. And back then I loved the second one, but I think when you look at them side by side, it is the weaker out of the two. But that's just me.
I don't know. I like the first one as well, but Vigo, he still scares the crap out of me.
Oh yeah,
that painting. It was a good premise. I like Vigo. Like they need to do something else with him, because he said he will be back.
He is. He's in the game, man. They hung him up in the fire station.
Okay. Fair enough.
In the PS4 game, you just walk past him in the fire station. He's like, "Get me down."
Neil, what did you make of this?
So, of the trailer, absolutely loved it. Absolutely, like that is, for me personally, that trailer is exactly what trailers should be, right? I know enough of what's going on. I don't know the full storyline, but I know enough about what's going on that I'm intrigued, and I know enough of what's going on to be interested. Mm-hmm. I'm intrigued by what I don't know, and I think either Ken or Sash made a point, not now, in a text conversation. You mentioned that it was like you got the similar feel to Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. To the Force Awakens trailer, where it was like, okay, this is nostalgia done well. And I'm like, I totally got that. I mean, the only thing that I understand it, but the only thing that I wasn't the biggest fan of from the trailer was the miniature Stay Puffs, because I like my gigantic Stay Puff.
I mean, that's the thing. You got to, because we've only seen a little bit of it. I think those things are going to be a runaway success. You're going to see those things everywhere.
They're gonna be the new Minions.
Yeah.
Minions.
Have its own spin-off movie and everything.
Yeah, Sony just went, salivating at the mouth. Oh my god, you know how much money we can make from this.
It was great. Absolutely. Just
okay. Jerome, what did you make of this?
Yeah, man, like you guys, I loved it. I love this trailer. It's epic. The cinematography is just amazing. Just seeing that the car go through the fields is amazing. I think when I first saw the first trailer, I was a bit not too sure about knowing that this is going to follow the kids. But like after seeing this, and I think after just seeing the ghosts and seeing like the effects, because I remember that film that we don't talk about, that one that recently came out. Those kind of glowy ghosts just like put me off completely, and just seeing the kind of special effects on these, it makes it.
And I liked how with the visual effects they kind of called back to the original, because like obviously it goes back to Ivan Shander and Goza in some kind of way, because like you see the same explosion that you did on top of the building in the first one, and then there was this when the containment unit, when that blows up because Walter Peck shuts it down. It's the same.
Ridiculous.
Same cloud. It's the same energy kind of thing. They recreated the same kind of energy. No, not eruption. They had like ghost spirits and stuff coming out, going all over the city and stuff, and it had this exact same visual effect, but
the same film.
But done it was done in like obviously CGI and stuff. But
they went to the original print, scanned in the original trails, and they recreated it in a 3D program, and so it looks it's the same. But it just it's more dynamic. It's the same. They've done it. There's a featurette on it. So someone watch it, and Jason Reitman goes through the whole trailer explaining what they did, how they're trying to balance the practical and the VFX elements of it. And so
is that on YouTube?
Say what?
Is that on YouTube?
Yeah, it's IGN did it with him, so you'll find it. He's gone into great detail in. Well,
that was just it. I mean, like about a year ago when they did that Ghostbusters day thing where it had him and his dad, they showed footage from the first movie, because obviously they're using footage from the first movie to show flashbacks or YouTube videos and stuff. And I'm expecting a director's cut of the original, because they found so much.
That's happened already, man. The 4K Blu-ray that's out, there's 2 versions on it, and it's got all those cuts on it.
Right.
So if I don't know if there'll be director's cuts, because it's still Sony will have to say yes to that or not.
Yeah.
But
it'd be stupid not to, because if there was a director's cut of Ghostbusters and that came out on Blu-ray, that's like day of release buy for me. I'm sorry, man. They'd be crazy not to.
Yes, but remember, this is the same company that wanted to make an Aunt May movie. So when you mention
well, mate, we might still get that. We might still get that.
Oh, good. Do you know what? I want to see that film now. I want to see it.
It has to be old Aunt May, not.
Hey man, that's the best idea since The Adventures of Ned Flanders. It's. I've got to see it. Got to see it.
Well, Paul Feig said there's a 3.5-hour cut of his Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah,
fantastic. Fantastic. Woo. Okay. Well, we all agree that this trailer is a fit for everyone. It's probably going to be a surprise hit. I think a lot of people have underestimated this, and I hope it's as good as I think it will be, and so I'll leave it at that. Moving on, Sweet Girl. So this is a film with Jason Momoa and Isabella. I can't even see her last name. Isabella something. Sorry, Isabella. And I actually like this trailer. It reminds me of the thrillers of the late 90s to early 2000s that you used to get, and because Jason Momoa is quite watchable, he's got charisma, so you want to see what happens in the film. The moment I saw it was on Netflix, on the poster when I was putting the graphics together, I saw it was on Netflix. Oh god, here we go again. But I'm surprised by how good this trailer was. So I'm not going to go any further. What did you guys think?
So for me, I wasn't convinced on this. I like the story. I do like the story, and I think it's a great idea to kind of go with what they were going about, the big pharmaceutical companies. And so as a serious kind of message there, I liked it. But then I know this film with Jason Momoa is going to be go into action. It's going to be like a drama, then go straight into the action. It's going to be taken with like it just looks the same to me. I'm not convinced by it.
Holy shit!
It's one of those, it's one of those Netflix films. I'm like, if I'm bored, then maybe I'll check it out, and maybe if I hear a good word from it. But no, not for me, man.
The film's critics were less kind.
Wow. I'll be honest with you. Like the first half of the trailer, I kind of dug it, and then when the soundtrack came on, I was like, no.
Exactly. That's what I felt.
I don't know what. For me, I thought
trailers have done that since we've been at the cinema, man.
I know, but I just felt it was a bad trailer for some reason.
I'll do it. So the first trailer I like over a Netflix film, and all you guys hate it.
I just thought, like, what? So when you've come out with that, because usually we're aligned. Usually me and you are aligned. I'm surprised, but
I'm surprised.
I just wasn't digging it, man. I was like, look, I'm sure it might be a great film. I mean, I'm definitely going to watch it because I want to see Jason Momoa, like, not talk to fish. So
the hell are you talking about? Oh, okay, man.
So but we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I quite enjoyed the trailer. I thought it was pretty decent. I think the switch kind of surprised me midway through because I thought it was going to be more of a drama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you saw like Jason Momoa kind of like crying, this kind of stuff. He's going to be going after pharmaceutical companies, and then, he's not going through it via his lawyer. He's going to kill people. So it didn't really give you an indication of why he's got these skills, or if he has got skills, or if he's just a man, just because he's angry, he's just taking people out. I have no idea. So, it looked fine, and I think he's also producing it, Momoa. So, Netflix film, not going to cost me anything extra to see it. So, yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Looks
Sam,
like it's a first-time director as well.
Hold on, Sam, what did you make of it?
I think when I first read the concept for it, I was hoping for something like A Place Beyond the Pines.
Right.
That sounds cool, like an kind of action film with.
This is a Netflix film, dude.
Heart to it. And then I watched the trailer for it, and I was just like, "This looks like every action film in the past 10 years. There's nothing new about it. There's nothing special. You're just making the villain Martin Shkreli instead of some Russians, basically."
Bro, yeah, that's actually quite a good. Yeah, I like that review, to be honest. So you're looking forward to it then, Sam?
I mean, it's the sort of thing I might if I'm like bored, I'll put it on in the back. Like, it's popcorn fodder. It's the sort of thing you'll put on in the background while you do something you actually want to spend your time on.
Yeah, I've been doing that a lot recently. There's a bunch of Amazon films I've been doing that with. That I know that I'm not really interested in them, but I'm kind of interested enough to have it on in the background.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of shows and movies I've done that as a sort of test, and you can tell if it's good if like 10 minutes in you've stopped what you're doing and you're just watching it. But most of the time you end up just being like, oh yeah, that's still on. The credits are rolling suddenly.
You see the beginning picture, you look down, and you're like, oh, okay. Then it's over. Okay, well, Neil.
You know what, right? On its own, the trailer does not look bad on its own. However, when I'm like, the trailer cycled through what I could imagine to basically be like 3 films. It went through like John Wick with the whole wife, passing away. Then it transferred and became like Hannah, when like the daughter had a little bit of skill.
Right.
And it became like an amalgamation of like Taken and several other action films. So I was just like, I'm gonna watch it and I'm sure it'll be good, but I will not have a high expectation of this. But at the same time, it does bring to light one thing for me, is that when you look at, I'm gonna say, golden age of like action movies. So your Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Seagal, Van Damme. When you look at that golden era of heroes, they all had like their amazing film.
Mm-hmm.
and then they all had, I'm gonna quote Sam on this. They all had their popcorn fodder, right? Which was just like, yeah, like this is not gonna be a great film. This is not gonna stand the test of time. People are gonna be like, oh, this is just like a chef's kiss to cinema. But it's going to definitely be something that winds up in the DVD section or the Blu-ray section or whatever. It's like, you're not paying the £20-30 for it with a special edition. You just want it's £10 in, it was £8 in, and Tesco's. That'll do. And this movie definitely fits into that. This is like Jason, he's got his Aquaman where he's like, a star, big budget, I'm throwing everything at this. And then his films like I think one of them's called Frontier, and then this one, it's like you get, for every one huge movie you need about 5 average ones.
Right, yeah.
It's just an average action movie. It's just, it's perfect Netflix fodder. It's, it's Extraction. It's
Feed the Beast.
Underground 6. It's just action movies for just nonsense, big, loud, and explosive. That is what Netflix want.
So yeah, feed the beast, feed the machine, and the machine will reward you, or reward Netflix, I guess. Okay, well that's I did not expect that to go that way. Okay, next film is Joe Bell. This is a film starring Mark Wahlberg, and again, I can't see the other name. I can only see one name. Don't know why. Can someone enlighten me on the
Reed Miller.
Fantastic, thank you. And I didn't see all of this trailer because I got interrupted by a call, so I'm going to have to let you guys take over. What was it like?
This was an absolute surprise. I went from not like when I say not caring, I went from I'm watching this trailer because I've been told to watch this trailer to at one moment one thing happened where I was immediately like, yeah, this looks like a really good film. Right? And it's like a really good film that harkens back. This is not a disrespect to him, but there are not that many Mark Wahlberg films where you are like, Mark Wahlberg is a great actor.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
There are many Mark Wahlberg films where you're like, he's an actor. He's cool. He's serviceable in the films he's in.
The Departed.
And every once in a while, there's a Departed. There's a Fighter. There's a, I mean, technically he's not the star of the film, but the Basketball Diaries. There's always that one film that pops up where he's just like, by the way, I can act. He is definitely his latest one of those.
Okay. Is this by Peter Berg, this film? Because he usually does his best stuff with him.
I don't know if it's by Peter Berg.
It doesn't sound
it's not.
No. Okay. No, wow, that's new.
Marcus Green.
Oh, okay.
He's a TV director. He's known for Top Boy, funnily enough.
Right.
Yeah, he's done one film prior called Monsters and Men. But yeah, he's a British director. He's done a lot of TV episodes and stuff. And yeah, I think the most out of the TV shows that he's done, Top Boy is what stands out to me because
that's probably why he's got this deal. Because Top Boy is really good. So Ken.
Yeah, I was really surprised by this trailer. Yeah, didn't know about the film or anything. Just put it on, and yeah, I mean, I think it's a very difficult subject matter to get right. There's going to be people who will praise it. There'll be people who don't agree with it. It's bullying, but it's also about him having a gay son and probably how he's dealt with it, how his family's dealt with it, the support that they've given. It covers suicide, so it covers a lot of things. Hasn't done too well in terms of reviews with the critics. Like on Rotten Tomatoes, it's only 36%.
Oh Jesus!
The audience score is 81%.
Okay.
So I think the audience are taking to it
about critics.
Yeah. Because critics are looking at it from a different point of view, and where we try and tread the middle. We critique it, but we are fans at the end of the day, wanting to watch good product. So it's I'm really interested in this. Really interested to see Reed Miller, his performance. Connie Britton, she just kind of does well in whatever supporting role that she does. I was really surprised by it. So it's probably one that if I just seen it, a poster for it, it's probably not one I would have picked up to see. But having a trailer, it's definitely made me want to see it.
Okay. Sam?
I think it hit all the kind of right notes I'd expect for something like that. Definitely, the trailer felt quite emotional. It felt like all of the acting felt very believable and like high quality. I agreed with basically everything Neil said about it. He basically said everything I was planning on talking about it. But I think it's probably going to be one of those films that's going to be a bit. I reckon it'll probably be a bit of a sleeper hit. I think it's something that won't really get too much popularity, but the user reviews and stuff I think will be very good for it.
I guess towards I wouldn't say Oscar time, but towards that period, you start to hear more about it, or maybe it may get buried, but usually around that period you start to see what is that when they advertise films? I'm not gonna do this. That's the one. My brain is not working today. For your consideration, and so you might come around again. There was one of the film that did that. It came out right at the beginning of the year, and then right next year the Oscars. It was for your consideration everywhere, and so maybe this
film like that was like The Father. That came out.
Yes, yeah.
Everybody saw it in the States. We never got it over here. Oscars came, Anthony Hopkins wins, and we're like, we haven't even seen this film.
Yeah.
Chadwick not won it, and then you watch The Father, and you're like, yeah, he deserved that Oscar.
Right.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go again. That's another example. And because it was such a light year for films, I guess I don't. That may have had a factor to it, but I know there wasn't that many films in the Oscars this year, so it did really mix it up a little bit in terms of what types of films would be nominated. Anyway, well, I have to watch the trailer now. Has everyone talked about that now?
Yeah, I mean,
Jerome,
I was just gonna say that it surprised me as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing it after watching that trailer. It's a very good trailer. I mean, before I heard that the critic score was terrible, I thought maybe this could be something that come up in the not Oscars, but one of the kind of award season, and then maybe
Golden Globe, BAFTAs,
yeah, exactly, maybe one of the smaller ones. But I think it looks great, and I'd love to see where this goes. Actually, when it comes up.
Yeah, go on, Neil.
So one thing that is and it just popped into my head is I feel like obviously I haven't seen the film, so I have no idea, but I partly feel like if it was, I don't know, Matt Damon, or if it was Jim Caviezel or someone other than Mark Wahlberg, that the critics would have probably have been less harsh on it. Not because Mark Wahlberg's a bad actor, but I feel like because he has a certain aura around him, that
he's likable.
Yeah, I think from the critics' point of view, their comments are very formulaic in terms of the way the movie progresses through. But I understand what you're saying with that. But I think that's why the audience score is so high, because generally, say the American audience is so used to seeing Mark Wahlberg as this big tough action guy hero, Transformers and all this other stuff. That seeing him like this, they're relating to him, and I think that is what hopefully this movie might be able to do some good for those people who don't really understand gay kids and how to deal with them and them coming out and stuff like that. Maybe they might see themselves as, well, Mark Wahlberg can deal with it like this. And obviously I know it's the character, but people do put themselves into other people's shoes depending on who the person is. So that might be really relatable for a lot of people, which is probably why the audience score is so high.
Yeah, that's probably true. I just think Matt Damon's more likable as well. he's got a more comfortable demeanor when you see him on talk shows. Mark Wahlberg comes off as someone that's got like a chip on his shoulder.
Doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. And so I think that.
Or he just shows up drunk at fucking.
Graham Norton.
Yeah, Graham Norton.
I saw that one.
Hilarious.
That was hilarious. Okay. On to the next trailer, and this is a big one. This is Dune, and I really liked this trailer. Really liked this trailer, but there's a but on this, and the but is it felt like Blade Runner 2047. It looks epic. It sounds good. It looks good. It's hitting a sweet spot for a particular audience, but it hasn't done like what I can't say like a Star Wars episode. For instance, when you saw the Star Wars Episode 1 trailer, it had the drama, the music, the nostalgia, something new. It just. I don't think you guys were around for the Episode 1 trailer back in '98.
Like the same feeling as the Force Awakens trailer.
No.
Not for you, Joe, but for me, when Episode 1 hit, I remember this like yesterday. I came downstairs because they were airing it on the Big Breakfast, okay, officially in the UK. I put a VHS in. I fucking record that motherfucker. I watched it about 20 times that day, and then I went to the cinema to watch it specifically in front of the Bruce Willis film, The Siege.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I watched The Siege just to see the fucking Star Wars trailer. Yeah, that's what we had to do, Samuel, back in the day. There's no YouTube. You had to.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah. And some movies, box office performance were inflated because of certain trailers running, because people would watch the trailer and actually not even stay to watch the film.
Yeah.
I remember when I was really young, I remember going to see films, and there'd be certain films that I had no fucking clue were coming out, and so I'd go to the cinema and just be like, what do you mean like a sequel to this film's coming out? I had no idea that this was coming out until I went to go see a film.
Yeah.
But you know, for me, you know, it was all hype. I think with Dune or even Blade Runner just shouldn't have been made. Okay,
No, that film's brilliant.
That's not. Well, no, I think it's good.
No, the film's brilliant.
No, it's good and well made.
How dare you blaspheme me in this podcast?
I'm just saying it's good. It's a good film. It's a well-made film. It's not a shit film. It just should never have been made. But that's just my opinion.
No film should be ever made.
No, but that's just my opinion on Blade Runner 2049. I just think Blade Runner by itself is the perfect film that didn't need a sequel. I still stand by that. I stand by that before I saw it. I stand by that after seeing it. And
it's like punching Ridley Scott in the face.
I appreciate Blade Runner 2049
and punching Denis Villeneuve in the face, punching both of them like this.
Because that's the worst film he's ever done.
Whoa!
Yeah, no. Say that.
Holy
shit!
No. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's a shit film.
See, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to edit this clip. I'm going to make you sound like you hate Denis Villeneuve. I fucking hate him. Sweet candy.
He's one of the best.
I'm not saying it's shit. Edit. I'm saying it's shit, and it's the worst film he's ever made.
But point being is, Dune is an untested IP. Okay, yeah, sure. You had the David Lynch film, which like bombed. You've got the miniseries that's for a niche audience, fair enough. But this is like a reboot where it's been like dormant for years because no one tried to crack the code. You know what I mean? Denis Villeneuve has spent the past 7 years trying to crack this code, and it's finally coming, and hopefully it's done right. Yeah, sure. Take away the behind the scenes of what's going on with the marketing and shit like that. For me personally, this is my film of the year. Hands down. Ghostbusters is almost there, but if they fuck up Ghostbusters, I'm going to throw it in the trash like 2016.
So how can you? This could be his worst film. You have no idea. This could be his worst film.
I would say that if he hadn't have said, I would not have done it if I'm not going to direct half the novel. Okay, that tells me he's spending those hours paying time and attention to a book that needs time and attention to. Because when you watch the David Lynch one, they don't.
He's crammed the whole
He cuts
book.
a lot of shit out.
He's crammed the whole book
You don't get to know
into
who the Fremen are, and like.
There's a lot of terms that you have to come to terms. Well, you have to learn while you're watching the film.
Well, it's not even that. You don't.
No, yeah, you don't know. The gun is not called a gun. It's called something else. It's called.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Okay. There's that, but there's also stuff like you don't meet the other houses that are on Arrakis to like, even now I'm talking gobbledygook to a lot of people, but fuck it. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But you don't get to meet certain fractions on the planet and shit like that. They don't give it the in-depth treatment that it clearly deserved. They skip over so much fucking shit, and it was just a bullshit movie. And it's even worse because it's dated as well. But everyone likes to suck David Lynch's dick. I would have liked to have seen.
Jeez, what's all the hate, man?
Because it's a bad film, man.
Yeah, he didn't go out to make it. So I'm gonna fucking destroy Dune, man. Fuck Dune.
Joe, I was about to get to this, but you jumped in and like.
It's called banter, man. It's cool. Get on with it.
The point I'm trying to make is that like David Lynch originally was going to do a 3.5 hour cut of Dune. Okay.
I thought it was 3.5 hours.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It is like 4. What's that?
Feels like it.
There was a 4-hour cut of Dune, and that got fucked by the studio, and he doesn't like that film himself. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't the film that he wanted to make, and like it's dated and shit like that. This just looks amazing to me as a fan from it, like way back in the day. I'm pretty confident it's gonna deliver of being a good film. Outright. If it doesn't do well, fine, fair enough. That'll be disappointing.
That would be down to Warner Brothers, really.
But yeah, it would. But we'll have to see, man. But for me, this trailer was fucking epic, man.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, but I don't see it in the same league as Blade Runner. Okay, I really don't.
It has to do better than Blade Runner. I'll tell you that right, and it doesn't have a fighting chance to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hearing what you guys are saying in regards to this Dune and Blade Runner, I think one thing that must be kind of imparted, and this is solely because my familiarity with Dune is very small, and my familiarity with Blade Runner, whilst larger, isn't, it's not like, oh my gosh, this was like one of the most amazing films. Like, I saw it when it was the first time I'd ever seen Blade Runner, period.
It's on TV.
It was on Blu-ray.
So fairly recent.
That tells you how long I hadn't seen it. So I watched this film when it was wrapped up in all the hype, and I literally watched the final cut. So all those other cuts where people was like, oh, there's added 10 minutes and then suddenly this is different. Like, all of that missed me.
Yeah.
But I say one thing that is majorly different is the scope of Blade Runner is very, very different than the scope Dune. Dune is literally like, it's like Lord of the Rings space. It's big, humongous, massive, epic. This is generation-spanning storytelling. Blade Runner is not. Blade Runner is, here's a point in time. We're going to give you some history of what happened before, but your main objective is to stay right here in this moment. And so when, looking at just because as we're talking about this, I'm visually just remembering the trailer of Dune, and I'm like, this is, if Warner Brothers don't screw it up, and they kind of feel like they might do screw it up simply because of the whole
streaming Max thing, yeah.
You drop in at the same time. I feel like I feel like Dune could be either Lord of the Rings, or either it could either be Avatar levels of hype and grandeur, or it's going to be John Carter.
It's not going to be John Carter.
It's possible, yeah.
That is not, and that's not a reflection.
No, I
of
can
how
see
good
what
the film is. That's
I can
not
see
how-
where you're.
Yeah,
I can
that's
see
not
exactly
even
what you.
a
I can.
reflection of the film. It's
Yeah,
not
I can
of-
see that analogy totally.
Yeah.
I agree with
Okay,
that.
you guys got to stop talking over each other because it's coming out as gobbledygook. I'm going to let Sam have a go with this.
So I thought, like, obviously the trailer was visually beautiful. Like, if nothing else, it's going to be an experience to just watch it. I think, regardless of how the actual content turns out. In terms of the content itself, I think the talent involved with everyone, I think it's going to be well written and stuff. The only thing I'm not sure about is because I've never actually seen or read Dune, but I've been recommended the novel and the David Lynch film at various different times. And it seems like fans of Dune who have talked to about it and asked them what do you think about this and stuff, seem to basically agree that they want stuff to be really faithful to the original source material. And I think the difficulty you're going to have with that with the film is Dune is so fucking in depth and massive that I think a TV show is the better route to go with it, because you can explore stuff more in depth. But it's a TV show that needs the same sort of budget that the movie is getting.
It ain't gonna happen.
Is never gonna happen. So I think this is probably going to be the best adaptation we're going to get in any sort of modern context. But how good that is, we're only going to find out in the next whenever it comes out.
Yeah, next few months. Yeah, it comes out in December, I believe. Jerome.
Yeah, this is gonna be my film of the year. I can see it. I watched this trailer 6 times.
Nice.
And I remember the first trailer, and I wasn't convinced completely, but this one,
This is a better trailer.
Yeah, I know you guys were saying about that this is kind of for a small niche audience, but this trailer kind of sold it as more mainstream, and maybe a more commercialized kind of trailer for people to kind of get on board if they don't know what Dune is. But I read the novel and I was a bit nah, it's okay. I mean, I read it quite late in my life, and this film kind of sold me on something that is a great looking film, epic. The soundtrack is amazing. And the cast. I mean, we haven't even talked about the cast. So
Jesus, yeah. We'll get to that.
Yeah, and Denis Villeneuve hasn't made a bad film. He hasn't made a bad film. Okay.
According to Satch, his last film was shit. So, and he hates him. He hates him. He thinks he's gay. And I'm joking.
I'm just saying, if he had made a bad film, that would be it. Okay.
To me,
it's not. It wasn't a bad film. I just believe it shouldn't have been made.
Well, to me, 49 was better than the original, because I didn't even particularly like Blade Runner that much. I mean, I thought visually it was great, and the kind of things that happened in it, yeah, sure, but it didn't affect me.
Well, that's you and Satch. I'm more skeptical because I've asked a few friends what they thought. A few friends that don't go to the cinema that often or watch films that often said, they went. And if they did that with that trailer, then if you ask every 3 out of 5 out of 10 would be the same, and so that doesn't bode well for it. Ken, what did you make?
So I've not read the book. I've not seen the first film. I thought the first trailer was okay, but it didn't really tell me much what was going on. See, the second trailer does, and it has enticed me more to see the movie. Yes, absolutely looks visually stunning. It looks on a big scale. A lot of shots remind me of Arrival and stuff like that in terms of style.
It's got that feel.
So yeah, a lot of positives there. I definitely see from a commercial point of view it potentially struggling, because it's not your fantastical space epic from the trailer. You obviously have that big beast thing at the end, but it doesn't seem like a huge amount of gunfire, which is what a lot of the American audience will go for the sci-fi. But it needs some good reviews, and it needs some positivity out of the gate. So yeah, for me, I will see as many films as I can, and this will be it. So I'm not on the hype train as everybody else, because I'm not necessarily a fan of the IP, but from what I've seen, it does really, really good. And to be honest, the main thing that entices me is the cast.
Yeah, it's a good cast.
A fantastic cast of actors in that.
Which we'll get to.
How could it go wrong? I definitely agree with Sam in terms of TV show. The one thing that I've read about Dune is so many people saying there's just so much in the book. The first film struggled because of the trying to get through all the explaining of everything that's going on. So it could have been sort of like a Game of Thrones style series where it could have gone on for a few seasons. But without knowing the book, I don't know what kind of budget that would have entailed, because a lot of it seems like it's a lot of talking and disposition, so it could have been sets that were produced. So but it isn't that way. It's a movie, and it depends on whether I think he's signed on the basis that he's gonna be able to complete his story, but if it doesn't make the money, they're not going to give it to him to do that. So it's it's a punt, and we'll just have to wait and see. I would expect another trailer out in a few months' time.
Yeah, so do I.
For December, and it's going to be more action.
Something more action packed. Yeah, I do believe AT&T screwed Denis Villeneuve with it's going straight to streaming. It's like with a film like that, it needs every dollar.
I mean, that's changed now. It is cinema only, but
it's only cinema only now.
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I think you might be right, because I heard that they may change it to a cinema release. Now it's been bought by what company owns Warner's now?
Discovery.
Yes, Discovery. Now that they own Warner's, they may turn that around, but they need to let people know that, because I think awareness of this film is its biggest issue now. Just getting as many eyeballs on it as possible, and people understanding, even if not the whole premise, give them something to chew on, like not like a Guardians of the Galaxy, but something that's more palatable for a trailer, for a bigger audience.
So, as written back in May, it was still day and day release, HBO Max and the cinema, October 1st.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Warner's has really screwed that film over, man. They really screwed that film over.
I am going to.
They should pull it from HBO Max, because. I mean, look what Black Widow's.
I know.
They need this movie to make money, unless they're hoping that that's going to bring back the subscriptions to HBO Max. But yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the one thing. We're going to go straight out of the trailers into the main topics, and that's the character posters. And so there's a lot of them. I couldn't get all of them, so then I'm not going to have any graphic. I might have to put that in. But in fact, I will put it in. There'll be a graphic up there. And I'm going to start off with Stellan Skarsgård, who's from who you'll know from what film? Thor. From Thor. And without just staying on him, just as you said, all the actors in this are they're A grade, and I can't even remember who's in it now. I know Momoa's in it. Oscar Isaac, Mr. Chalamet, Zendaya,
Josh Brolin.
What's the other girl's name from Mission Impossible? Yeah, Rebecca Ferguson.
Zendaya.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but I can't. Yeah, Brolin. Yeah, and so look, just those names. I know there's more, but just those names in themselves, that's a stellar cast. Batista.
Batista's in it.
Yeah, and
Javier Bardem is in it as well.
Yeah, exactly. So many names, and that's if cinema was still the way it used to be. If I was still working at the cinema, all those posters would be in the foyer. That you wouldn't get away from it. It'd be Doom, just everywhere, and that's how you do it. And with the digital world now, it's just so hard to get excited about it, because there's always something being pushed at you. But character posters are good. I didn't see the Stephen Colbert thing for it, but I don't know how much you can talk about film posters in that regards. But
it may speak to fans of the films and franchise, but for everybody else, it doesn't mean anything. You know, I'm seeing a poster of Jason Momoa with his character name on it, and what? It doesn't mean anything to me. So Timothée Chalamet is Paul. Great.
Yeah, who's Paul?
Zendaya is Chani. Great. It doesn't mean anything for me. I want a poster with all the characters on one poster, so I can go, fuck me, look at that cast, that looks amazing.
Yeah, you want a Vasta of like how they used to do banners at the cinema, that kind of Vasta kind of
exactly.
poster.
Just give me them all on one poster. That's going to sell me the movie, not all these individual ones. Not knowing the characters.
They probably do have one. They probably do have.
Oh
like
yeah, there will be one. But what I'm saying is, I just don't see the point.
Yeah. But they do that for all the big franchise films. They do that for Avengers. They do that for
but you know who the Avengers are. And that's
they did that for Star Wars. They did that for
the Matrix Reloaded
before that came out. They did that for Matrix before it came out.
That's the thing.
This is kind of standard, really.
I haven't seen an individual poster from Marvel for a long time. I just think it's the tired media.
For Marvel was Guardians of the Galaxy 2, because that was an ensemble. I do believe Endgame had some as well.
Yeah, I remember because like they would have both the color and the grey.
Oh yeah, Endgame.
That died. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's
but that's
still
because
a thing.
you've got fans of particular characters. They're characters that have been established through 20-odd movies.
But Lord of the Rings had the same thing.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that was before it was a thing.
Lord of the Rings? No,
for the first movie? I don't remember
there being individual posters for Lord of the Rings.
No, there wasn't. No, there wasn't. There was for the next one. But there weren't. It was
not the first movie, maybe the second.
The Two Towers had a few posters, but there weren't character posters. The only one that I remember putting up were
Return of the King.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know, me, Joe, Sam, and Ken worked in the cinema, and myself, Joe, and Sam used to deal with posters and banners and stuff like that. So,
funny enough, Warner Village Cinema.
Have you forgotten I used to work at a cinema too?
Oh shit! Who you again? Neil. Yeah. I was going to compare these two. When the Matrix Reloaded came out, they had cropped posters, so
that's right.
You could only see the bottom. If you didn't know the character, then it was a bit of a mystery. But you knew all the characters because the first film had already been out, and that was the main difference about that. It was the first set of large
Solo as well, because they're showing, look at all the Star Wars characters who we've got in this movie.
Yeah.
Come and see it. So certain films I understand it, but when it's a product and IP that not many people will know about, because it's not a sequel, it's not a follow-up, it's a new take on a new film, unless you know the books and the characters, then you can put the face and name and go, oh, okay, I know that. So it just seemed very strange marketing from my point of view for a first feature movie.
X-Men had it as well.
I would have loved to see one poster that has all the characters on it, kind of telling you who they are and stuff, and then like it's a film that's like, obviously it's a very visual based film. Like one of the big things they're doing is making these beautiful visuals and stuff. And with that kind of film, I feel like the posters that kind of draw you in and tell you it's going to be this kind of beautiful kind of film, this like, sci-fi epic, they can tell that with posters. You can have like, with the massive sort of banners you get in the cinema, having like a sort of like Dune landscape with kind of, you can maybe see some characters or maybe some action going on, with just a logo, like very simple kind of minimalist poster. I feel like that's what I was kind of expecting in terms of how this film would be advertised. I'm not obviously like, I don't do the business side of stuff. I can't tell which one's going to be more effective. But I think in terms of what I was expecting, I thought there was going to be a lot more of that kind of like showing off some of the visuals.
Yeah.
One thing, just thinking about these posters, with the exception of Paul and with the exception of Paul and possibly Stellan Skarsgård, virtually all of those individual posters are for people that you have seen in massive, humongous blockbuster films. So they're I'm not gonna say their profile is somewhat more marketable. Could you say, oh, Oscar Isaacs? Well, he's in Star Wars. Josh Brolin, he was Thanos. You know, Dave Bautista, he's Drax. It's Zendaya. I mean, to be honest, most of them are from the MCU. When you think about most of these people have been in the MCU in some way, shape, or form. But because of that, I think their profile, it's sort of like trying to hit two birds with one stone. So the individual posters are for everyone who's a fan of Dune, who knows Dune, will see it and be like, oh yeah, I want to watch this because it's these characters that I love. Or people will be like, oh wait, Zendaya's in this. Oh, Dave Bautista's in this. Oh, Josh Brolin's in this. Oh, Oscar Isaacs is in this. I know there are tons of people who will literally gravitate to a film just because of the actor.
Yeah. Again, I think these. If you're going to release these posters, it should be like a month before the film comes out. Not now. No one knows who these. You're not. There's the trailers just come out. You're not familiar with anyone really. Again, just have another trailer come out. Have a more focused. This is this person. This is just so you can focus on who's who. Because at the moment, the trailer's really good, but you don't really know who's
They're
who.
trying to do exposition via posters. It's like, you know what, we've had to cut this movie down a little bit, so look, just know who they are before you go in, and you'll be on a better start.
Yeah.
Do you guys think
that the actor's name is tiny and then the character's name is huge?
Mm.
So it's like Jason Momoa is Duncan, Idaho. It's like, okay, Duncan, let's go. So.
What were you going to say?
That makes perfect sense. I was going to say those names, like some of those names are unpronounceable. Like to know what they are before you go into watching those films, that's probably a good idea in terms of a marketing way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jerome. I mean, before I get into it, Zach, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, like, it does seem more aimed at the movie stars in the film than the film itself.
That's the way you.
These ones,
yeah. That's kind of how you have to get all the most familiar stars, as Neil said. That's going to pull in more of your audience. But as for the lesser known ones, I don't know, man. I don't see. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe they know they clearly do marketing with particular stats now, and so I don't know.
Well, it's the studio that gave us Birds of Prey, so don't hold your breath.
It could be. Well, look, it could be a very clever algorithm they're using. So obviously, when you are, when you're on Facebook and whatever Google, and you're searching for particular things, if you're looking at certain movies and bits and pieces with these particular actors, you'll get that character poster prop up on your adverts as opposed to the general cast one. So if you type in Jason Momoa movies, boom, you're going to get the Jason Momoa advert up with him as a character. Say, right, he's coming up in there, I'm going to go see that. So I do understand it from that marketing point of view. So maybe it is.
Yeah, it's probably algorithm
because it's more digital focused, and we're thinking, oh, where are they going to put all these posters? Why are you going to pick this bus stop to put a Jason, Oscar Isaac? It doesn't make sense. But from a digital marketing point of view, it can be tailored to individuals very easily.
Yeah. I'll tell you now, outdoor marketing. When this is marketed outside, I'll guess there'll be a vista of the characters as opposed to the individual person. yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so they'll have
being something that's like a franchise that's known for having a lot of kind of politics and lore, and it's being marketed at nerds, is giving me massive like episode 1 opening call.
Oh right, yeah.
Taxation on the Trade Federation route. I'm really interested to see how that works out this time around.
Hey, the war has to start somewhere. The Star Wars. So I could talk about this for a little bit longer, but I'm going to move on. And moving on to an epic film, to a very mediocre film, which is getting a sequel, is I can't even remember the name of the film now.
It was that mediocre?
Yeah, it was. It was really mediocre, and the film is called The Tomorrow. I don't even have it up on the bloody thing.
Well, right, you know that movie. That movie got a lot of criticism, but a lot of people that I know watched it thought, yeah, it was alright. It was quite enjoyable.
It is enjoyable, but it's taking a lot of hooks from different films, and you can that's Alien, that's something else, that's something else, and
that's why I enjoy it, because you recognize things, right?
Okay, fair enough.
You know, it's not all, you know, new films aren't always going to be creative. So if you can take things from different movies and give a bit of an experience, you know, like I enjoy Chris Pratt and most of the stuff that he does. So, you know, he was a solid lead. Characters,
yeah, it was a good lead.
Movie where I didn't expect them to. And yeah, I thought it was just quite a bit of fun.
For the record, I haven't seen this movie yet, so please no spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, I kind of saw where it was going to a point, but then I didn't expect maybe the last 15 minutes of the movie.
Right, yeah. That surprised me, and I was that's the bit I really liked, to be honest, because no, because I thought it was. I thought,
you know,
hold on.
Okay, so Sasha, I'm not going to spoil, but
yeah, we're not going to spoil it.
You know, when he had the MacGuffin, I thought, okay, now that'll be that, and it's like, no, it's not going to work. So, well, why aren't you just mass producing this? What's the problem? So it's like, no, we're not going to be able to distribute it. And I was like, all right, fine. And so it went on to the end bit, and J.K. Simmons was just awesome. And you know, so yeah, a sequel. We'll have to see where they go. Did the creature at the end die? Is there another ship? It
does that. It explodes.
Oh yeah, no, it does explode.
Okay, you know what? I haven't seen this film either.
Okay, we'll stop talking about it.
Too many spoilers, man.
Okay.
I mean, I don't care about this film.
You know, is there a timeline and stuff like that? But yeah, I mean, get those key figures back, and yeah, it'll be fun.
Okay. Well, I mean, the thing is that as soon as I watched it, I kind of forgot about it. Not in a bad way. It was just like, oh, okay, that was pleasant. But I guess it's like it's a popcorn film.
You know what it is, Ken?
Yeah.
It's not Ken. Sorry. Well, both everyone.
Yeah.
Pleasant aftertaste.
Say again.
It's a pleasant aftertaste.
Yeah.
You enjoy the film. When the film's done, you don't think, oh, this was amazing. I have to watch it again. I have to dissect the characters. It's, oh, have you seen The Tomorrow War? Yeah. What do you think? Oh, it was pretty good, actually. You know? But if someone was like, tell me 5 scenes that happened, you're like, shit.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I mean, I could do that.
It's like when someone asks you to name a character from Avatar.
The Avatars. You know, the blue guys. That's a character.
You should have had character posters like Dune.
Yeah. Nice callback.
For anyone who's seen the film, would you want to see a sequel to Tomorrow Wars?
Yeah, because I think it was just enjoyable. So, you know, I mean, Neil was saying about the aftertaste there, you know, just like, you know, it was fine. Yeah, it's like, you know, I drink Coke, but sometimes I have to have Pepsi, and that's okay. You know, so it's fine. It was enjoyable for what it was, and you know, it's an Amazon movie, it's a streaming movie, it's fine. But yeah, it was quite fun.
Yeah. So, Satch, what do you make of this?
I've not seen this movie.
It doesn't matter. I have an opinion.
I don't know, man. Should it have a sequel? Maybe. I don't know if Chris Pratt's likable. People like him, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, it's
well, some people like him. It depends who you are on Twitter, right? So.
Oh yeah. Jesus Christ.
He likes Jesus. We hate him.
Well, yeah. Do you know what? It's like Passengers. A lot of people thought that was okay, and I'm akin it to Passengers because I liked Passengers. But I like it as if it was on Amazon, it's more suited to that. Because I watched it again recently. As I really enjoyed it at home. In the cinema, I was like,
I quite enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. In the cinema, I went to see it on a date, and that date didn't go well, and so it made my Anyway, let's not talk about that.
You're on your way home.
Yeah. Let's never see each other again.
The middle of that film on a date.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like hard work.
Yes. And because she had particular views, it made it hard to talk about. So I was like, yeah, screw this. So seeing it again, I feel the same way about this film, The Tomorrow War. It's a nice popcorn film with a nice aftertaste. Yeah, that's what I say about it. Moving on. Lethal Weapon 5, directed by Mel Gibson. Who's going to see that? Would you see that? Anyone? I mean, I'm guessing two of you don't even know what Lethal Weapon is.
I'm just really interested to, I still wonder how Mel Gibson has managed to make his way back into Hollywood after everything that fucking happened.
Harvey Weinstein is your number there, and a few other people which I won't mention. But I mean, once he got trump card by him and a few other guys, that no one's going to be thinking about Mel. Is that Mel? You do what you want.
Yeah, so I chatted to Sasha about this, where it's infuriating that he's such a good actor and director, because I don't want to like him, but he's so good at what he does.
Yeah, it's just I mean, go on.
So yeah, what's it? Corey Feldman. I think they were at some Richard Donner event, both him and Mel Gibson, and Mel Gibson basically mentioned to him that they're talking about him directing it. He hasn't made the decision just yet, but yeah, that's where this has come from, basically. Warner's, because the project, they've got a script. There's obviously some pre-production work going, because this was greenlit and this was a go. So I don't think Warner's want to waste what they've spent already. But at the same time, it could easily, because not a frame of footage has been shot, it could easily just go down the toilet, like everything they do there. It's these guys waste money all the time, man. So, you know.
Well, ATT did.
Waiting for 3 movies that he did not appear in.
Wow.
Yeah, they paid Nick Cage to be Superman and not make it. So, you know, they
paid Marlon Wayans to be Robin.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, fine. Yeah, for Batman Returns and Batman Forever.
Yep.
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 So yeah, I mean,
what?
Yeah.
Welcome to the movie world, son.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm really in the Matrix, because that's nothing. Those are 2 things I didn't think would ever be in the same planet. What? Okay.
Marlon Wayans was original Robin, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm a little taken back by that. What? Okay. Wow. This is like Morty's mind blowers, man. My mind has been blown, and I don't really know what to do about. I'm physically, huh? Anyway. Okay. Well,
Lethal Weapon 5.
Yeah.
I don't want it. I'm not interested in it. The franchise finished off in a good place.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah.
You know, if they make it now, they're just both too old for this shit again. It's the same. It's the same joke. It's just going to be, updated. So yeah, I don't want it. I mean, look, he's had a decent. I mean, I really enjoyed Fat Man. That was jokes with Mel Gibson playing Santa.
Right.
He was great in Boss Level. Super cheesy. Fantastic movies. So much fun. And he's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, another 8 films coming up. So he's got a lot coming on. So in terms of directing, he probably sees it himself as he should be probably the next best person to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But he hasn't actually directed since Hacksaw Ridge. So that was 2016. And he's announced to do The Wild Bunch, but as like American Bandits, like bounty hunters.
the
stuff
remake.
like that.
The remake
Yeah,
based
the remake.
on.
So he's supposed to be on that, and it's got apparently rumored is Michael Fassbender, Peter Dinklage, Jamie Foxx, just all rumored, but nothing's really in place there. So if that's not really moving ahead, then I can imagine there's a script out there that this could move quite quickly if they wanted to do it. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Jerome. Oh, so go Neil.
Okay, so for Lethal Weapon 5, I am... Okay, so on one hand, I very much agree with Ken. I want to see a Lethal Weapon 5. Where Lethal Weapon 4 ended was... it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. However, I do remember hearing Max Landis's pitch for Lethal Weapon 5. And I was very much intrigued by that. I wouldn't have mind seeing that. I'm more than likely that is not the script that they have. But he made a pitch where it was basically they are...
Was it Shane Black?
No, it was Max Landis.
Oh, right. Okay.
And it was, you know, they're old men and they're like, they go to take almost like a rookie class. They take them out in the woods to train them to do stuff, and then shit goes down.
So what's that, like Police Academy 15 or something?
That's like a training day, but like the better version.
I'm butchering it. I'm not doing it justice to what he had pitched, but I was very interested in that pitch. But
I know Shane Black had the script because he created those characters. He wanted to retire them off. But like obviously Donna had a lot of control over what went on with the Lethal Weapon series. So, you know, it was all in Donna's kind of thing. And I think a lot of the actors didn't want to come back unless it was Donna. So because that's basically it. But we'll see. I mean, like, to be honest, I think like Ken, believe it or not, if Richard Donner was still alive and doing it, I was partially interested. Now it's kind of like Ghostbusters, like the old Ghostbusters 3 idea. The minute Harold Ramis died, it was kind of like, well, we're not getting what I really wanted, you know what I mean, anymore, and we'll have to see what they do. So, but yeah, I think Lethal Weapons had its day. They can now do the reboot. Oh wait, that ended before the original.
Oh yeah, bloody did. Yeah, it was.
Sam, you've seen Lethal Weapon recently, right?
Jerome, what did you make? Were you into Lethal Weapon?
I am. I mean, I remember when I was growing up as a kid, but to be honest, I think you're right. I think the last film was a great ending.
Yeah, it's just
no point to bring it in. Yeah,
it puts it underline.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only thing I'm kind of fascinated is like, what is Murtaugh going to be doing on the streets again?
Avoiding death.
He said it was too, he said it was too old for this shit. He's like expired by now. I mean, what can he do?
He was too old for this shit in Lethal Weapon 1.
1986 or something, wasn't it?
I mean, unless I see him on the Symmetry, man, just like it become a pure comedy. I don't really want to see it.
This is where you go creative control, Ken. This is where it's what is. It is Mel Gibson.
Yeah, what's next for Lethal Weapon?
It's
We'll get Kevin Smith to write it. He'll kill off Murdoch and that in the first 5 minutes. And then you'll have Chris Rock's character take it on with like Riggs' daughter. There we go.
Unless they go the Fast and Furious route and it's all about family, which is what they did in the last film, and now it'd just be crazy. There's no gravity. There's nothing. It's just like going up buildings.
Get Michael Bay on it. Get Michael Bay to do it.
Oh my god! Oh, so what's Michael Bay Lethal Weapon 5?
Michael Bay on it. That'd be jokes.
Oh my god, that'd be fucking amazing. Creative control, Ken. If you want more golden oldies like that, go to creative control. They've got so many ideas. That sounds like Trump now. So many ideas for major things.
The chemical attack, and Stanley Goodspeed is the person that they bring in to help them out.
Well, yeah, I in my opinion, 4 was I watched 4 the other day, and the way it finishes, he's not a lethal weapon. It was about Mel Gibson getting over the death of his wife. He's way past that now. He's remarried. He has a kid, and so he's definitely over it. He's not a lethal weapon anymore. So you can't. It just should be called Weapon. And so
Lethal Weapon 2, which perfectly exemplifies Lethal Weapon 5, not why it shouldn't happen.
I can't even remember. Why are you doing?
Because he was supposed to die.
When you see the advert, when you see the advert that Murtaugh's daughter's in, and then the boyfriend's there, and he said, "Oh, I got a gun." He's like, "Oh, I'm in Reggie." He's like, "Oh, Reggie, get out!" And he's like, "Oh, I thought it was a great advert," and it was like, "I got a gun." Murtaugh says, the Riggs says it perfectly when he talks to the kid at the front door. He was like, "Oh, he's got a gun." He says, "Yeah, but it's an old gun, and he's not a very good shot."
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, if I don't know where to go from this. I'm gonna
you end it. It's an old gun, and he's not a very good shot.
I'm gonna go straight into Michael B. Jordan Superman. Yeah, I already see you. You're loving this, Neil. You're loving it. Look at him. He's loving it. Look at him. He loves it. He fucking loves it. So this is the. I have no interest in this, but maybe some of you do. Black Superman, which is still part of a continuity. So I don't know.
So yeah, I don't read Superman comics, so this was kind of new to me, and especially because I think there's basically 2 avenues they're exploring at the moment. So you've got the sort of like a reboot of Superman potentially, where you have a black Superman. They don't know whether they're going to be calling him Clark Kent, but there is another one on Earth 29, I think it is, where it's like Calvis something.
Calvin.
Yeah, Calvin. Yeah, so Calvin, and he is Kal-El. So basically, it's an alternative reality. He is a black Superman, and I think he was kind of based on like Obama. I think he's like president or some shit.
Yeah.
So that is what I think they were doing the movie about. This one, I think, is where they're focusing on a HBO Max series, and this is like Val Zod or something. So this is Earth 2. So again, it's a different timeline. Basically, Jor-El, basically they adopted him or something. So they're like his foster parents. So when they sent Kal-El and that lot back, he came back as he was sent to Earth as well. So he's kind of been around the same time as them. And basically he has to help defeat Superman who's gone bad or something like that. And then he dons a symbol and he becomes Superman. So that's as much as I understand of it. So it's a different reality. It's a different, different way of looking at it. Michael B. Jordan in the role, I don't know. I'm not convinced. I don't think he's got the stature personally. But there's nothing. Nobody's saying that he is going to star in it. Apparently, he's going to be producing it. So there's nothing to say he's going to be starring in it as well. But look, the amount of product that Disney is doing, Warner's and DC have to start coming up with some other content. They're doing the Green Lantern series, HBO Max and stuff like that. They're going to start using their multiverse to come up with different things because they can. They've had the multiverse concept for ages and they just haven't utilized it very well. So they'll just pump some more stuff into it, and I can see it happening. However, the best thing I've seen of Superman recently is Superman and Lois, done by WB, and that series is fantastic. I did not expect that at all. I wasn't fussed on seeing it. Sasha was raving about it. I watched it and I was blown away. Just such an amazing series.
For the record, I think all CW shows suck. I thought this guy sucked. Literally, like I saw him in Supergirl a couple of times. I didn't like the way they treated like Superman and made him be like beat up all the time. And they had like a crossover episode where you had him and Brandon Routh. I was like, well, he ain't no Superman because you got real Superman there. You just look like bad cosplay, son. So I was against this guy the whole time. And then like I hear off the grapevine from like some reviewers and YouTubers and stuff saying, no, it's actually good. I was like, nah, get the fuck out of here. And then one guy said, no, it's amazing. I was like, now this is bullshit. There's no way. And then I watched the pilot, and I was just like, hang about. All right, this is okay. All right. I don't want to like this, but this is better than I expected. So I watched the second one. By the third one, I was hooked, and then it's a week for week thing. So at first I was doing the week for week thing, and now I'm just letting them build. But so far that they haven't dropped the ball. As long as they don't drop the ball, and as long as they don't cross it over with the other shite. But yeah, that for me, it's the best Superman since Reeves, and that's me actually being very bold saying that. I like Man of Steel. I enjoyed Man of Steel, but I'm not. As a Superman fan, like an old school Superman fan, this whole new iteration with everything, it's a bit convoluted and stuff. If Snyder had his way, I would have been more on board because of what he did with the Snyder Cut. But for me, the old school Chris Reeves stuff, 1 and 2, chef's kiss. But with this show, they moved the character forward. They done something new and different with it, and at the same time retaining what made the character great in the first place. And I was just like, wow, I just hope it's a contained universe, man. It's just so good. But this Calvin Ellis thing, I don't care. I mean, let the product speak for itself, because at the moment I think DC fans have been fucked hard with bullshit, and
that's an understatement.
This sounds like stunt casting or whatever, but I know the other Superman project, they are actually doing Clark Kent. Yeah,
if that happens, I think it's a huge mistake.
Yeah, they're doing Clark Kent.
You have a black version of Superman, 2 black versions of Superman. Don't recast Clark Kent.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah,
just do something.
You're going to alienate such a huge audience, and it is just casting for the sake of casting. That's wrong. When you've got characters there, that's the whole. A lot of people were annoyed about changing characters from comic books to what they originally look like, with different ethnic persons and stuff like that. But the whole what everyone screams at is, we don't get enough representation from the characters that exist.
Yeah,
you've got characters that exist, so use those characters.
Yeah, exactly. These characters exist. I'd say let's see what they do with Val Zod. I don't know much about the character. The fact that he does exist in some kind of continuity, maybe it will work in the show. Michael B. Jordan thinks it could work. Look, he's putting his career on the line here with
I don't think he's doing that. But
no, he's putting he's putting his name to something that he's clearly creating and stuff. If he doesn't think that, if he thinks it's going to be good or whatnot, there must be something to it, And the fact that this is already an existing character, we'll see, man. Let the product speak for itself. I say, I'm not for or against it. I'm not against it because it's an existing character. If it was made up fucking bullshit, then I'd probably feel different, like the other thing, like Ken said. But we'll see, man. Let the product speak for itself, I guess.
I totally disagree with this. I actually do want to see a black Clark Kent, and I don't want to see a Val Zod. And the reason why is because Val Zod has his own enemies, his own friends. I don't really want to see that. I want to see a story in which it's about an alien that comes into America, and he's black, how he's treated differently. And I think that kind of juxtaposition to what we know with Superman is a better story for me. I mean, we have multiple Batmans. Why can't we have multiple Supermans? I'm not saying that it should be in the same universe or taking over Henry Cavill's kind of role. I just think it would be an interesting piece of So I'm completely opposite. I do want to see it.
I think with the pedigree of DC TV shows, they've all been mostly garbage, barring a few episodes here and there.
They've all started well, their first seasons. Arrow, Flash, their first seasons were fantastic, but then it goes downhill.
Yeah, and there was steep decline. And I think with this, I'm interested to see what they do with it. It sounds like it's going to be a bit more contained, not linking in with stuff, so I'm looking forward to that. It gives them some more opportunity to make something kind of quality that doesn't have to link into everything. But I do think I'd be like 10 times more excited for this if it was an animated property. If DC came and said, doing a new animated film, or, you know, they're generally pretty consistently high quality, we're doing like a storyline with Val Zod that hasn't really been done before, I'd be 10 times more excited for that than what we're getting, which is live action TV show.
What in terms of if this is going on to HBO Max, then I feel that that causes some distinction between the films. I mean, there's only been one film at this point in terms of Superman, but in terms of what they want to do with it, maybe HBO is the best place for it, and not make another film to compete with. I don't know what they're doing with Henry Cavill Superman, but I feel they've missed a trick with his character, because he hasn't been fully realized as Superman yet, and I feel really annoyed by that. It's been 10 years, almost 10 years, and
you sound like Smallville fans.
I mean, I got.
You're not wrong, Sam.
See, I got through 3 seasons of Smallville and said, I'm out. Done. It was a bit too goofy for me. I can see you brooding, Neil. I'm coming to you. Don't worry. I'm coming to you. I've left you last for a reason. Your face is now a meme. You know that, right?
I thought his computer was frozen.
Okay, Neil. I'm mad as fuck. Right? I'm mad as fuck. You know what it is? It's like Warner Brothers DC. It's like they planned this shit out. It's like they planned it. Like
really? That's the feeling you get from Warner Brothers?
Yeah, they sit down in a room and they were like, when was the last time we had a really, really good movie? And it was like, you know, it'd be like, we had 89 Batman, okay? Fuck that shit up. What was the last great one we had? They'd be like, oh, you know what? Everybody really loves the Snyder Cut. Okay, fuck that shit up. I'm sorry. I will forever be 100% against a black Clark Kent. Right? And our reason is twofold. There's two main reasons why. And it's not just Clark Kent, it's the whole superhero thing. I wouldn't want to see a white version of Storm. I wouldn't want to see a white version of Blade, you know.
It's in the ether now.
You know, it's my main 2 reasons is this. One, if you want to show representation of a character, you either A, draw on the characters you have, i.e. Blade, Storm, Black Lightning, John Stewart, Icon, Static Shock, or you say, you know what, we need to revamp this character, so we're going to revamp them, and you get Miles Morales, right? Or, you know, you get Calvin Ellis, right? But what you do is you treat that character with respect, because you say this character that you know and love still exists, whether they are in continuity wise alive or dead, they still exist. However, here is what happens when that same power, that same incredible gifted to someone who is totally different than them. And the second reason why I'm totally against this shit is because, I'm sorry to bring it to a political standpoint, this world is not the kind of where I can see that, right?
Yeah.
Some people in here have watched Masters of the Universe Revelations, right? And there were people losing their shit because 2 characters who are not major characters, they're not main characters, they're not characters who are right there. 2 characters were their races were swapped. the races were switched, and people lost their friggin' minds, right? When I watched Man of Steel, Perry White was black. I was like, you know what? It's okay. It's Perry White. It's not. It's not Batman, right? It's not Kal-El, because I'm sorry, I just can't abide by that. Because when you do that, when you change someone's race, you change their, especially when we're talking about a superhero who lives in, for better or for more or less the real world, you change their experience, because now you have to take into account the experience. If your character is 30 years old, if your character is a 30-year-old, black character, and they grew up in Los Angeles, they were alive during the Rodney King riots. They were alive, during, the Rampart scandal. They were alive during these things. How does that affect a character's motivations? How does that affect the way that they deal with things? The way that their parents teach them. Jonathan Kent, the way Jonathan Kent teaches Clark Kent, the way he teaches that whole kind of, you have all this power, you must know when to use it. That whole, great power, great responsibility that Uncle Ben put into Peter Parker. What does that do when your experience is different? When you know that people who look like you have a very different experience dealing with law enforcement. When they have a very, like the whole kind of zeitgeist right now where they talk about, oh, there's Karens everywhere and it's racism everywhere, and got the whole thing, the trial for the Capitol building and all of that shit that's going on right now. So you're just gonna switch a character's race and be like, everything's fine, he's just black now.
But that's the thing. When I was saying it, I was okay with the idea. I meant like the whole experience and changed it around. So I'm surprised that no one wants to see that, because the way you done with Joker and the way you done with Batman, like the whole DCU is pretty much gone. It's like they're not even trying to put it in the continuity.
Yeah.
You might as well just like bend it as many different ways as you want. Because I'm not that interested in seeing Val Zod, because I don't know anything about the character. I don't really care about it. I mean, if they put it out, I'll probably watch it. But like, if you're taking a more serious approach and a different kind of take to a character, turning his race and his experience, that sounds like interesting story to me, rather than tell a story about a person that no one cares in the comics.
Yeah.
Personally,
I do see your point. I can't deny it. That is a very valid point. But for me, it was like, I remember when they were plotting out Superman Returns, and there was the whole rumor going around that they'd offered the role to Will Smith. And I'm like, again, going back to what I said, here's how it goes. If Superman is black, then you get one of two options. The Kent family is either black or they remain white. If they remain white, then they've adopted a black child. That deals with you. What do you do with the character's identity? How do they relate to their mirror image of themselves? Not only are they an alien in and amongst humanity, but they're an alien even amongst the fact of in their family unit, they're now alien.
And to try and work that out through a movie is not enough time.
Yeah.
Because if you take a series like This Is Us, that is all about a white family adopting a black kid, and how they've had to manage it, through a similar time period. And it's just a case of, look how difficult that is to explain through over 4 or 5 seasons or whatever it is at the moment. You can't do that in a film. You won't give yourself enough time to do that. So then, you are saying it's going to be a black family. Are they going to be out on a farm? Maybe not. Are they going to be, in a central city somewhere?
The ghetto.
Yes, his whole experience is going to be different. So then when he becomes Superman, are you then going to be challenging the fact that white people may still challenge him as a black alien as opposed to just an alien? So it's or do they were like, or you're going to then villainize white people in the movie, and to do that in a superhero movie, studios are going to find that very, very risky. You know, so it's such a difficult property to try and do, which is why I think they should go with the characters that are already established. And look, I mean, Calvin Ellis, I think he's like president in the comics, you know, so his alter ego is like highest in the land. So they've kind of bypassed that whole thing by like having him to deal with he's a president, and they've kind of taken it out of that situation. I haven't read it personally, but to me that seems like a really easy cop out to say, okay, he's president because they based him on Obama and he's a superhero as well. So they've given him a great job and a great life, plus he's a superhero.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they've done that in the comic,
Yeah,
but
because
obviously that would have been done through comics over a period of time as opposed to trying to tell that in a movie, which I think would be a really big challenge.
Yeah, because you know what, as well, DC Comics, just the company as comics, as they were, back in the 80s, right? They were 100% down. They were like, you know what, we have to show you stuff. This is not cookie cutter stuff. I remember there's a comic, there is a Green Lantern, Green Arrow comic, where Hal Jordan, as a character, he rescues a black individual, and he rescues a black individual, or he does something and he's around a black individual, and the person straight up says to him, he's like, you don't get to tell me stuff. He was like, you do everything you want, you run around and you save the green people and you save the blue people. What have you ever done for the black people here on Earth, in this city? What have you ever done for us? He says that, the lines that come out of this character's mouth. And tackling issues like that, it's not fun, it's not pleasant, it is very difficult, and it's even more difficult to get right. But when you're just like, willy-nilly, we're gonna swap this character, no, it doesn't work. It ain't gonna work with Barbara Gordon, how they got the young lady from In the Heights has now been cast as Batgirl. It ain't
What?
gonna work there either. Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's gonna get a world of hurt for that.
Right? There's gonna be some hate. You want to see more hate? Wait till the Little Mermaid trailer drops.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, look what happened to Michael B. Jordan with Fantastic Four.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think so many people were like, fucking. I remember like even stuff with like John Boyega in Star Wars.
Yeah.
When they're like, when it wasn't even a clone trooper, and people were saying, how can a stormtrooper be black? And it's like, well, they're not clones anymore. Like, you must have.
Yeah, they haven't been clones for a while.
People, like mega fans of Star Wars who are complaining about it. And it's like, either you don't know the plot, or you're just being racist because there's no issue with this. Like, even I was talking to friends about this at the time, and it was saying one of those things where it's like, even if it was meant to be like clone trooper armor or something, couldn't that just be the same shit Luke did? And it's like, you can tell there's a lot of people who, and The Force Awakens is still fairly like recent history. Like, there's going to be a lot of people who are gonna. I agree that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to flip their shit about this, and DC are going to either need to.
Even saying that. Sorry to say, even saying that, if you go back to episode 2, that the Jango Fett, he's not white. Jango Fett's Samoan, is he not?
Yeah.
So they've already lost that argument.
Well, I say that I think DC really needs to like, they need to either be like, we're gonna commit and back this up and fucking really like give this the attention it deserves. Make sure they're getting on like writers who, like Neil said, like having heavy hitting stuff, getting writers on who are gonna understand how to develop those storylines and how to fucking put stuff across that will actually accurately depict stuff. Because if they kind of half-ass it, they're not really going to bother defending it, and then it's just going to be one of those things that gets dropped, goes nowhere, and hasn't really dealt with any serious issues. It's just like the fucking the 2016 Ghostbusters. Hey,
yeah.
look, the women now hasn't dealt with any sort of social issue or anything, or tried to address anything. It's just
they're just women. Accept it. Accept it.
And then the worst thing about that was, most of the reviewers I watched said that the funniest part of the film was fucking Chris Hemsworth. So in a film where you've brought in like a full cast of women, the man was the funniest bit of it.
The other thing, I think your main issue here with any of these Superman properties is John Peters. John Pete, if this person, not that I wish death on anyone.
Producer on Superman and Lois, so I just don't think he has as much influence as he did. But he has his name attached to everything.
I think the thing about John Peters is that he could just like, he's just through listening to what Kevin Smith said about him, he was just like, what are they doing with that? No, lose that. I don't want this. I don't want. They have to find a way round. They have to write round him. So they can.
That's the thing. I felt
they can please him.
Snyder did an excellent job with Man of Steel.
Yeah, he wrote round him really well.
He did. He wrote round the craziness.
He got his crazy polar bears. He got his fucking spider. He got his fucking army. Superman has supposedly has an army or something. Look, John Peters is a fucking lunatic. He needs to go. He needs to go now. Jesus Christ. Anyway,
I don't think he has that much control on the TV stuff, though. But then I didn't notice his name on the Superman and Lois credits. But we'll maybe I'm in for a treat for fucking CGI spiders or something. I don't know. But
what's a spider? I don't even remember a spider in this.
Trust me, it's there.
Oh, trust me.
Batman spider tank.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That was a Justice League, yeah.
No, in Man of Steel, you know the world engine?
It's a spider. It's got
the shape like a spider.
What?
Exactly. Once you understand John Peters' mind, you'll start to see all of this shit in the Superman stuff. It's
and then you know what? If you listen to Kevin Smith explain how he wanted Superman to fight Spider,
it's fucking brilliant.
With it was like when there's like an octopus fight in 2000 Leagues Under the Sea where the octopus grabs the guy by the arm and stuff. Mm-hmm. Man of Steel is actually shot for shot 2000 Leagues Under the Sea, that fight, because when the world engine, the tentacles grab his arm and stuff, he's punching the beast exactly like 2000 Leagues, just for John Peters. Because he wanted that shot, man. He wanted that shot. But you know what? I honestly felt that Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan, him and David Goyer, because Nolan really didn't, he got it made, but like, he had nothing to do with the script or like, how they dealt with stuff. But I think David Goyer and Zack Snyder dealt with the crazy really well on all of those movies, to be fair. Mm-hmm. Because I think towards the end of it, it wasn't just John Peters. There was a lot of other people after slicing the pie, with all of this DC stuff, and it's what it is.
Yeah, it's what. Well, look, we'll know more when it comes out. We've got to move on. And we're moving on to. No, it's cool. It's an epic rant.
I think we should go to my rant. I think we should go. No, rants are cool, man. It's different.
Finish your sentence, man. What are you gonna say?
I think we should go to the other one, The Saint.
Oh, you want to go to? So you want to? Yeah. I just put on a graphic with I forgot her name. Grier. I forgot her name.
Okay, we'll do
Pam Grier.
We'll do Pam Grier.
Okay, so Pam Grier, she's going to be in the Pet Symmetry sequel, which I did not see. So I have no idea if that film was any good or not. But so it's good. Okay. Yeah, I'll let you take it on from there because I know nothing about this film. Sad.
Yeah,
let Neil.
Go on, Neil.
Well, here's the thing. So initially, there is only one Pet Sematary book, right? However, when they made the original film, they also made a sequel to this film. I mean, Stephen King's work is iconic. Like, I genuinely feel like he's probably the greatest writer of the 20th century. I know that there's some people who come out with some strong words to go against it, but
Tom Clancy is coming for your ass, baby.
Tom, like, which one of your characters gave everybody nightmares, right? Listen, Pennywise scares the shit out of all your characters.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? But I mean, he's prolific. You go through every single generation from when he started writing to now. Every single generation can pluck out a Stephen King title and be like, that was brilliant. whether it's book, whether it's film, whether it's TV show. You know, look, what was the last rendition of something he did? The Stand, the TV show, The Stand.
That had a person in it that probably ruined it.
Well.
Yeah. We can't say a name on
that's
on
the
here.
thing is, you know, you look at it. We're in a point of view where literally he started putting out stuff in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010. You know, 2010s to now we're in the 2020s. Every single solitary decade, he's had at least 2 things come out where people are like, "Holy shit, that's great." Going off of that tangent and going back to what we're saying about Pet Sematary 2, I mean, the way that the first film finishes, as in the most recent rendition of it, the way it finishes, we don't need a second.
It's a prequel.
It's a prequel.
It's a prequel, not a sequel. Sequel.
Okay,
prequel.
well, I mean that works even better.
Okay, well, they can get another film out of that then, if it's going before.
The thing is, by having it as a prequel, what it does is the things that film lightly touches on that are more heavily explained in the book, you can develop it far better. I mean, I'm hoping that they try and go the route of like It, where, you know, I mean, with it's such a freaking humongous book that they had to split it into. But when you do something like you have 2 parts to something, whether it's a prequel or a sequel, you can dive so much deeper into the mythology of things. And they never really touch on the mythology of how the Pet Sematary came about, why.
So this is a prequel to the actual book. So it's...
Okay.
Basically, you know, explain a lot more.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I cannot. There are a million ways it can go wrong, but I feel like if it's in good hands, it should be in good enough hands that it'll be a solid movie.
Yeah. I have nothing to say to Sam or Jerome.
I was gonna say, like, I think if right now I'm kind of like I know the plot of Pet Sematary. I haven't seen the newest film, but I've seen the original one.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, well, when I first heard it was a sequel, I kind of know there's a sequel to the original one and stuff. I wasn't particularly first hearing it's a prequel. I'm a bit more interested, but I think what will decide on how much I want to see the film really is how much they are kind of running by Stephen King and whether or not, like, because I think if they're making sure that they run like the final scripts past him and the ideas past him and he signed off on it, then I'm all good for it. But I think if the less involvement he has, the less interest I have in it, because as like concept and stuff, the main reason I'm kind of drawn into it is because it's based off of Stephen King work, and that's why I'm like, this should be quality. And I think without that, if this prequel is just going to be their vision, I'm not that interested in that. But if it's their vision that Stephen King says, yeah, this is good, I agree to this, that bumps up my excitement significantly.
Yeah, well, again, I only remember watching the original Pet Sematary when I was a kid, and I didn't get through all of that, and I haven't visited upon it since. as you can. Jerome, what do you make of this?
I haven't seen the new one or the old one, so
so
I don't have an opinion.
Fair enough. You're kind of like me. I'm kind of in the middle here. I mean, what was the last thing she was in?
Grier.
Yeah. Can't even think. I guess it was Tarantino's film. Sorry.
Ghost of Mars.
Oh, she was in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought her last film was the Tarantino film. What's the Tarantino film that she was in?
Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown. Oh yeah, sorry man, I couldn't hear you.
No, she did. No, Jackie Brown kind of brought her back from 70s, and then she was in quite a few films after that, but not like the lead and stuff. And she even showed up in that fucking Snoop Dogg film, man.
Yeah,
what Snoop Dogg film?
She's done a lot of TV work.
Bones.
What the hell is Bones?
She's been doing a lot of TV work on like Smallville and
This Is Us, Bless This Mess. She's done voiceover. She's done voice work and stuff.
Okay.
She did Grand Theft Auto 5.
No way.
Yeah, so To be fair though, I mean, like Pam Grier, legend of like blaxploitation movies from the 70s.
Yeah.
Like loved her in Coffee, loved her in what's it, Jackie Brown. Yeah, good casting, I think.
I've only seen her in Jackie Brown.
To be quite honest, I wish she was in more stuff. To be fair, but,
I mean, she's a fairly old woman.
Yeah, well.
I mean, if you. Yeah, I don't know much about her. You've got the knowledge on her, so yeah. Again, I only know her from when she was in Jackie Brown. I found out she was in blaxploitation films, and that was that. I didn't know she was in anything else. But it's
Coffee Brown.
Coffee Brown. Okay. I thought she would be in My Name Is Dolomite in some way, but clearly they missed a trick there, sort of somehow. All right. Well, moving on. So, the Saint, talking about race swapping. Has anyone watched Bridgerton?
Yeah.
I've not seen Bridgerton, but how do you pronounce this actor's name? Rege-Jean Page.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's in the
Rege-Jean.
Jean. Okay. Well, he is in the reboot of The Saint. And
he's playing Simon Hunt. Yeah.
Acting and producing as well.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but because The Saint isn't as a bigger IP as like Bond or what's the other one? Steel, Remington Steel. I feel that might be the IP is not as big, so therefore you can kind of do what you want with it, and so maybe this is a way of doing that using the Saint. I remember the Val Kilmer Saint, and that was
there was a Netflix TV show of the Saint.
Oh really? Okay.
I think it was.
It was a TV. It was a TV movie. Originally, it was supposed to be a pilot for a brand new version of the Saint, but it kind of died. That pilot kind of died in general. But then they retooled it to make it more of a movie and stuff, and yeah, it kind of went under the radar and into the abyss. And Roger Moore was back in that. He had a role in it and everything. Had it have been a TV series, he would have stayed on, and it was literally he was still playing Simon Template. It was like training up someone else and stuff, but yeah, I never saw it. I became aware of it because just some random person like mentioned that there was one. I was like, what? There was another Saint. But to be honest, it's a dead IP. I mean, it has been since Roger Moore. I mean, yeah, there was
since the Val Kilmer
revival. Well, no one went on about that film. I mean, I know I have because
it had a good soundtrack apparently. Because I remember that being around for ages. That was just being played.
Simon was in it. Simon's in it.
As who?
He was an extra in it.
Oh, okay,
right at the start. Yeah, right at the start because they filmed it on Hare on the Hill. Yeah, at the school, right on the top of the hill.
Oh.
And yeah, Simon was an extra in the Saint, man.
Nice.
But yeah, that's to be honest. If he wasn't an extra in the Saint, I probably wouldn't have seen it, to be fair. But no one really remembers that film. It's not a film people talk about and stuff. That was supposed to be like a big franchise starter because Val Kilmer was hot at the time over Batman and Robin. No, Batman Forever. And yeah, it's just been a dead IP really since the 60s. Roger Moore did his like 5, 6, 7 seasons of it, and no one really talked about it again. My mum watched it, and I remember reruns of it back in the day.
It was a nice TV production.
Yeah, but I don't. It wasn't that big. It wasn't that big a IP really, and I think it's been many decades since the Roger Moore one and the Val Kilmer one. Are there fans of that movie? It wasn't. It was nothing like what the Saint was supposed to be anyway. It was more grittier for sure. But it wasn't. It wasn't the Saint. The Saint was like Bond. You know what I mean? It was more or less. It was TV James Bond, which is why Roger Moore became James Bond because everyone liked him in that role. So it was kind of like, it's kind of like, you know, in terms of them doing the race swapping with this one, I'm for it because, like the Perry White analogy earlier, Perry White wasn't the guy, but this guy, he's not a well-known character for this age.
Actor.
You know, in this day and age.
Oh, character, yeah.
Yeah, a character in this day and age, and it probably needs a revitalization. You know what I mean? Because there's not going to be people coming out of the woodworks going, "I remember the State." You know what I mean? It's like it's good. I think they could do something really special with it, and you know, it'd be good to see what they do there. I think. But
is this a movie or is this a TV series?
I'm not too
This
sure.
is going to be a movie.
Oh, it's a movie, yeah.
So, I mean, the Saint, Simon Templar, these were based on books from 1928 to 1963. So they're really old books. You know, so there's like short stories and stuff like that. In regards to this, Rege-Jean Page, so he's got an association with Paramount because he's going to be in Dungeons and Dragons movie. So obviously, off the back of that, he's obviously teamed with them with this. He's also in the Russo brothers, The Grey Man, with Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling. So he's a hot property now, basically, especially after turning Bridgerton. There's loads of fans of him and stuff like that. He's not in the second season of that because he's going on to bigger, better things now. So he's got a lot of stuff upcoming, and yeah, I think this is a great vehicle for him. This might be a little bit of a testing ground to see about race swapping with James Bond, because I know that's been discussed for many, many years.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
It's, but if we can't get that, then you know, having him in this role, I think is going to be brilliant. So yeah, I don't think there's too much they can do wrong with this. It's just going to depend on the story and the way they carry it out. So yeah.
So go. You guys talk. Sam, Neil.
I mean,
I don't really have anything to say about it. I didn't even know the same existed until today.
That's a good theme tune.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I remember this when this came out. Well, not when it came out. I remember watching the TV series a long time ago. Yeah, back on like actual TV and not like cable and everything else. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind how if they take it in the new direction. And because it's so old, no one remembers it. I mean, I don't even think I've seen the Val Kilmer film. The interesting conversation about a Black James Bond is like, if this does really well, there is no need for it. And I don't want to see a Black James Bond anyway.
I don't
That's a completely different conversation. Yeah. I mean, who wants to be James Bond these days anyway? I mean, he's like a sexist, alcoholic, gambler. I mean, it doesn't really fit.
I can think of many motherfuckers.
Who can I think of? No, I can't. No, I can't. But I mean, the way James Bond, the way they're treating him now is he's like, even in GoldenEye, you're a relic of the past, and that was in 1995. So, even if the Saint is a bridge to doing that, I think that would be a big mistake. But the Saint they could do anything with. It's as you've said, it's no one really knows the Saint, and so you have right to kind of rewrite history a little bit and have a bit of creative nature of it. But yeah, good luck to him, but leave Bond alone.
Chris Pine was due to be in the Saint reboot up until about last year.
Really?
But obviously they've changed direction since then.
Oh, okay. Well, again, good luck to Mr. Bridgerton. Up next is John Carpenter expressed that he would have liked to carry on doing the what's the series called, Satch? It's this series. Yeah. And so I could see that. Kurt Russell is still bankable, and he can still move. I watched Hacksaw Ridge. Not Hacksaw Ridge. Bone Tomahawk, something Tomahawk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah, but and he's good in that, man, really good. And that was only a few years ago. If he can still produce that energy, I think he could still do I mean, if he could do Old Snake in the Escape, was it LA? Escape from LA.
Yeah.
He was kind of old Snake there,
Well,
but
well, let's not talk about LA. Let's concentrate on New York, right? LA had some cool moments in it, but the minute my man surfed the tsunami, nah.
Have you never done that?
I don't think anyone's done that and lived.
Fair enough. Well, that wasn't the question. That wasn't the question.
Didn't Tom do it in like one? You know.
Oh, he did.
Prison
He
CGI.
did. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Do you know what? That's been talked about for a long time, especially in the VFX community. Is that the green screen on that is really bad.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, I would like to see another Escape movie. What about you guys? I don't know if all of you have seen.
I think
film.
if they do it, it's gonna have to be like Escape from Alaska. Because if he wears anything mildly form-fitting, you're just gonna have dad bods.
What? We need that.
Yo, if we do Escape from Alaska, you could have like a Thing crossover, innit?
No, we genuinely need that. Like, I mean, I'm showing my age, but I'm a fan of when you see the kind of old, weathered heroes coming back to deal with the situation, and it's like, oh, here's the young preppy upstart who might have, oh, they're on trend.
I don't think
But
Steve
then you
Diston's
get
character.
old.
Yeah, he doesn't really work with sidekicks, man. People are around
No,
him
but just let me
for the
finish
ride,
what I'm saying,
but
right? What I'm saying is, like, I like those type of films.
yeah,
But it's because there's a certain sensibility that comes with older heroes. So like it's not the best in the series, but if you look at Die Hard 4, right, the fact that he is old, brutal John McClane, and it's enough of this kung fu shit, grab you and throw you across a room, and it's sort of like we're going back to a more simpler time, and you take someone like Snake Plissken, who is already old and gruff, and you put them in a situation where maybe with good writing, and it's taking an older character and putting them in a newer sensibility, but at the same time not treating their core elements or their roughness or their ruggedness as a handicap or as this is old bullshit that we don't follow anymore. Like treating it with a bit more respect, treating it like aged wine and not aged vinegar, and then you can pull out something really special, I think.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, like, this is Kurt Russell's most favorite character. Okay, he loves this. When there was rumors that Jared Butler might play Snake, he went fucking ballistic. He was like,
but do keep in mind that was just after 300. So.
Yeah, it was. He went fucking ballistic, man. He was like, he needs to be played by an American, and more importantly, he needs to be played by me. And I was just like, wow, okay, fair enough.
I actually like that.
But no, you know what? Look, I would watch it in a heartbeat if Carpenter would direct it, but Carpenter has made it clear he'd just much rather play fucking Resident Evil these days. So, because that's what he's doing. He's just signing off checks, just going, yo, you're remaking one of my shit, bring me the money so I can play PS4. That's what he's doing.
I'd love to see an Escape video game with Kurt Russell voice acting.
Oh, definitely.
You mean like Metal Gear Solid?
You mean like Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah, basically.
It's just Metal Gear Solid. I mean, to be fair, I would like to see an old Snake come back. If he reckons he's got two more, fucking write the thing and get someone else to direct, man. Just give us that shit. But also at the same time, if it's a continuation, it's a good way to retool it to people that haven't seen it before, because no one remembers those films except for like John Carpenter fans, right? Like whenever I mention Escape from New York, people are like, "What?" You know what I mean? Like what? And then you're like,
"81, bruv."
Yeah,
Hey, yo, man, that film is older than me, and it still holds up as a classic.
It came out the year I was born. It's 4 years old. I mean, look, I was never a huge fan of it. It kind of passed me by. I remember seeing it, but if there's a film ready for a reboot, this would be it. So I don't want to see a sequel to this. I'd rather see a reboot because it was New York in 1997, and that was the future. Now it's going to be like 2021 or 2030. What's that going to look like? How old is the freaking character? So, Kurt Russell's 70 anyway. So it's just going to be a bit weird. No, I'd rather see a reboot of this. I don't want to see a sequel.
Yeah,
I don't mind seeing the continuation. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Side note: when I first watched Escape from New York, I must have been about 7. Do not ask how I managed to watch it, but I watched it, and so when 1997 was coming up, there was a little bit of me that was like, shit.
Yeah.
Because, like,
to be fair, to be fair, for years, for years, and Joe can contest to this. I think I said this on the podcast one time about Escape from New York. I always wanted to see a remake of the first film, but my big thing was it has to be Kurt Russell, and the reason
they just need Marvel's test. They've shown they can de-age him now.
Yeah, but the reason why I wanted it to be Kurt Russell is because in the original film he was always too young for the role. Yeah, I mean, but bear in mind when I first started talking about this was like 10, 15 years ago, but he was always too young for the role. You know what I mean? He was always playing him older, and he was always like, because Kurt Russell was like in his 20s at the time, or mid-20s at the time, and they're talking like...
I was in his 30s. He was in his 30s. Yeah, because
they were talking like he had like a full fucking, like some proper old dude, man. And like... I just never found it believable, kind of thing. That's the only thing, that he had so many stories, etc. But you put an older guy in that role and cater it to an older guy.
Just reboot it with Brad Pitt or something.
No, you don't. No, I wouldn't want to see Brad Pitt. I'd keep
Idris in there.
No, I'd keep Kurt.
In fact, have Idris Elba as Snake Plissken.
That's what I'm saying, Idris,
No, because he doesn't fit the archetype.
We're fucking with you, man. We're fucking with you.
The whole point is with Snake. Okay, fair enough. If you were to recast him, you could have all these guys or whatnot, because the archetype is Clint Eastwood. That's who the character was based on.
Sutherland.
He's already done that though, hasn't he?
I guess so.
If you want to go younger, give it to like Chris Evans or something.
No, too young.
That's what I said, if you want to go younger.
Chris Evans is my age.
I don't remember the film, how important it is that he's older. What difference does the age make?
The age make is how believable the stories of him are, to be fair.
That's what actors are supposed to do.
Well. I don't know.
I mean, it's an interesting debate, but I mean, will John Carpenter actually do it, or will anyone take on that mantle?
He hasn't made anything since 2010. He ain't doing shit.
He's not doing. He's done.
He doesn't want to direct it. He just wants people to just make his shit.
He just wants more money.
Yeah, he just wants more money. He's like, here's a freebie. Just get in the zeitgeist. Make sure I get paid, and that's it. So.
I'll put David Harbour in there. That'd be awesome.
Ooh, David Harbour. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. It's a bit too bad.
Watch Sat explode in his seat.
No,
I think he's too friendly.
To be honest, if I was being serious, a proper choice. Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
The worst actor on the planet, Sam Worthington.
Or what's his face from The Boys?
Oh,
Dredd.
Carl Urban, yeah.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, the choice.
Scott Eastwood.
No, he's way too young.
Yeah, he is way too young. But that's the thing. It's a character that's based on his dad's archetype.
Yeah, that would work.
Like, he's based on the man with no name. And that's why you have Lee Van Cleef in Escape from New York, because it's supposed to be those two characters from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, more or less. So
if you're going any further than that, you should have
cut Vigo in there.
Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen.
Oh, Mortensen.
You're just throwing out names like it.
Escape from New York with Viggo.
Interesting concept there. Okay, well, we got to move on because it's coming up to 3 hours now. The next topic is the Battle of the Planets, been written by Mr. Fast 9, whoever the fuck that is. Who wrote Fast 9? Because I don't know. Or the Fast franchise, because I have no idea what the guy's name is.
It shouldn't be allowed to do anything ever. So,
hey,
see you later, franchise.
So Daniel Casey wrote was one of the screenwriters on Fast 9, along with.
I'm sure Justin Lin's got something in that.
Yeah, Justin Lin, and based on a story by Alfredo Botello. Who the hell is Alfredo Botello? What has he done?
Probably somebody on Reddit. You know, it's just like.
Hey, you look like you know how to write. Do you want to come write a film for us? Yeah. Go on then. And that's that. And Battle of the Planets. I'd rather someone in Michael Bay's team handle this film. Because I feel they.
I was going to say the exact opposite. I was going to say it's going to be a Michael Bay kind of thing, and that's exactly what we don't need any more of it.
We don't. I mean, the Fast 9 guy is more or less. I don't know. Choose your worst evil. So.
Yeah. Fast 9 guy should not be allowed to write. Just give it to James Gunn and let him do it.
Yeah. James Gunn's a good one. That would be a very bloody Battle of the Planets.
Fucking awful. That style, that craziness, he could deal with that. So
some of the people who did.
I'm not going to talk anymore about Fast 9 because.
Yeah, it's clearly affected you, man. I just
script writers is astounding.
To be fair, I've never seen Battle of the Planets.
So
I don't know anything about it.
Sam,
was it any good?
It was alright. It wasn't. It was like. It's actually a Japanese cartoon that was rejigged for the American audience and then us. So there's clearly a lot of context missing from it. Because I don't know what the original Japanese version is called, but it's something else. So
are they like two separate shows though? Because sometimes they take something and just turn it into completely different.
Yeah, it's like Samurai Pizza Cats. Samurai Pizza Cats is totally different in Japan. When it was brought over here, they redubbed it, redid some of the animation and changed it.
Ghost Stories, the anime that got redubbed by comedians.
Yes, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Well, they completely changed it. They kept like the rough basic plot, but all the dialogue is completely different.
Precisely what they've done with Battle of the Planets.
Power Rangers.
Yeah. It's the same thing they did with Power Rangers. Yeah, it's Power Rangers.
Yellow Rangers.
Hold on. Okay, now I'm blown away. The Russo brothers.
Yeah.
Are involved in this.
Oh, okay. I'm interested again.
Yeah, fine. I'm hyped. Yeah, I want to see it right now.
Now you have my attention.
It's gonna be the shit.
Wow, what a 180. Fuck this. Actually,
AGBO is their thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're helping construct Battle of the Planets universe. So apparently this is going to kick off a franchise across multiple media. So. That's the idea. So apparently the Russo brothers announced this back in 2019 at Comic-Con.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's some hope for it then, Sam. There's some hope for it, Sam.
Absolutely. I don't know. There might be executive producers on the project or whatever, but it just seems like a very strange person to have on to bring on to do the script. So obviously, he's probably done some other stuff that I don't know. So,
or maybe he's secretly a good writer, and he was just doing that the fast films for a paycheck. Yep, paycheck, easy paycheck, family, cars, space, done. Go with it. But now he maybe this is where you'll see his writing chops, or not. we'll see. But
only thing he's done prior is like a film called Kin. There's some sci-fi film.
Kin.
K-I-N.
I know the film. I know the film.
Is it good?
Is it good?
It's got Dennis Quaid in it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a horror film?
Not bad. No, it's not a horror film.
Okay.
It's like a sci-fi science fiction-ish film.
Oh, okay.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
So if it's sci-fi, Vin Diesel must have saw
he's
it.
written for TV series as well. Drone, never saw that.
Drone.
But hey.
Well, look, I mean, if the Russos are involved, then there's some clear cross pollination in terms of talent. So he's clearly talented in a way we've not seen yet. So hopefully, with this particular IP, it won't go down the same barrel as the Fast series. So yeah,
So to direct a Fast series where the cars get scooped up by giant fucking octopuses and there's a car chase, but the octopus is like playing with the cars and shit, and it's not.
That sounds like the ending of Men in Black.
I just need to see the Fast and Furious crossover with Transformers.
No, let's not do that. Let's not put that out there into the ether. Transformers is on its last legs already. Just leave it alone.
Listen, Netflix is the same Transformers, so see it.
Well, look, let's not put anything into the ether that.
Fast and Furious is closer to Star Trek now than it is fucking Transformers.
It really is.
So
you've just that's really touched you, that for Fast 9.
I just it was horrific. It was just horrific.
Whew, okay. Well,
I take it back. Film of the year is Fast 9, man.
Jesus.
You sit on that throne, enjoy it.
Okay.
If they did that, they turn in an Oscar-nominated film, just for the last one to blow people's minds away.
You know what? It'll probably win Best Oscar for Sound Editing, and then it'll be Oscar-winning Fast 9.
Yeah, of course.
I think we can all agree. I think we could all agree that Vin Diesel's speech would just be like, "Family."
I don't think The Rock would have to say much to that. Anyway, look, we're going to move on. Clerks 3.
You to talk about a brother. Some bullshit. Fucking. I'm sorry. Nothing more important than family except him.
Okay, dosing down the fires a little bit. Clerks 3. Well, actually, it might relight some fires for some people because Kevin Smith's involved. But Clerks 3. I loved Clerks 2. Clerks 3 synopsis is a bit topsy turvy for my liking. But I still want to see it. It's in production. It's a go. What do you guys think?
Fastest greenlit film ever. That's what it was. Literally, who was the company that bought it?
Lionsgate.
Lionsgate bought Miramax, right?
No.
Library.
No, don't Disney own Miramax?
Well, they did at one point, but either way.
The Weinsteins used to own Miramax. Okay.
Yeah, they owned the rights, and I think, the Weinsteins owned the Clerks rights, and basically, Lionsgate bought the IP along with many other films, and literally a couple of days after that happened, got greenlit straight away, kind of thing. But that's because he's been writing the script for years anyway, in the hopes to get it made. And just literally fastest green light ever. They started filming this week, I think. So,
yeah.
Started doing script readings this week.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, I love Clerks 1 and 2. I really do. And I can't wait to see where Randall and Dante are next in their life. And I think it should be cool, man.
In all honesty, I saw Jane Silent Bob reboot. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would, but I want to see what Jay's up to. I don't know why. I just want to see what Jay's up to because he just gets gnarlier and gnarlier every film that goes by. I just want to see how far he can take it in this new era of wokeness, and so because I don't think he'll give a fuck. I mean, only 15 years ago, you didn't know what the fuck the internet was. So I need to see. All these characters are great. The fact that Rosario Dawson's coming back shows that she's I'm up for this shit. Let's do this. I love these characters. If they could somehow get what's his name? Yes, Mark Hamill. And I was actually thinking about the who's the guy that played the priest in Dogma?
Oh, George Carlin.
Yeah, George Carlin. If they could get him to do like a CGI cameo somehow, because I like George Carlin. He was good. He was good. He was good in Dogma, and yeah, I know. I'm just excited for the film. The premise doesn't particularly intrigue me. I just want to spend time with the characters. It's the way actually, I better not bring that up. So, does anyone still kind of like Kevin Smith? Because I know about the He-Man controversy. I don't get it, but sure.
I understand the controversy in regards to He-Man, but I don't give a shit about it. What he did was tremendous, right? So it's cool, and I'm like, listen, anything Kevin Smith decides to do, I'm at least one ticket that's gonna be there. I'm at least one person who's gonna be there to watch it. So yeah, I'm in. And the fact that Rosario Dawson's there, I'm like, Kev, you just went from opening night to opening morning.
You're gonna fly to LA.
I'm looking forward to this film. I enjoyed the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I saw it with like Sasha, Chris, and Leo. So
that's probably where I should have seen it.
They just made it more enjoyable. And yeah, it's something that he's wanted to do for a long time. You know, the premise is that Randall suffers a heart attack, and based on that, he then wants to make a movie about his life working in the convenience store. So, you know, it is very much a case of the heart attack thing was added after Smith had his own one. But, you know, it is a case of, you know, he wants to be this filmmaker and he's going to make him that, you know, so he's kind of mirroring his own life in a sense. You know, and I think that's a really fitting way to kind of bring that as a trilogy. You know, and the fact is, you know, he's going to be doing it low budget. He's going to be doing it with his friends. He's going to be, you know, doing it with, you know, it's Randall, Dante, it's Jay and Silent Bob. You know, they're all going to come back to help him make this film. So, yeah, I just think it'll be a joke. It's kind of like he's taken like Zack and Miri make a porno and then merged it with Clerks and bring up like Clerks 3. So, so yeah, I'm really down for this.
Just the host of characters that are in that universe. I just laugh about it just thinking about it. Just what would be the argument this time? It was Lord of the Rings versus Star Wars last time, and now
it's got to be the Star Wars sequels, right?
Yeah, and now the Hobbit. So it would be the Hobbit.
It's going to be sequels versus prequels or something like that. You know, it's
going to be this. You know, he's going to bring something like that up. So yeah, I can't wait to see what that argument is.
And throw a Power of Grayskull in there as well.
Ooh, yeah. Sam or Jermaine, what do you make of this?
I'm looking forward to seeing kind of that, like the characters in more of like a modern context. Part of me before the plot kind of details were announced, part of me was really hoping it'd be something like they were working in an Amazon warehouse. There's so much material you could do with that.
Nice.
But, yeah, I'm just interested to see what they do with it and how they modernize it. How it goes, basically, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Jerome?
I've never seen Clerks. I'm the one person, I'm one of the million people that haven't seen it, yeah. So I'm going to watch it before people hunt me down because I know everyone's seen this film. But yeah, this is like one of those films that I've never seen, but everyone else has seen. It's like, okay.
You're in for if you have the sense of humor, I think you do. You'll like it.
The funny thing is, I've seen Jay and Silent Bob, but I haven't seen anything else. So I'm kind of like I've seen one of them out of like the whole series, and so yeah, that's it.
I'll send
so
you
I
the
haven't really listened to any. What's that?
I'll send you the order list, and yeah, you can do your thing, man.
Yeah. So I would be paying attention to this whole conversation because I'm probably gonna like it.
Well, moving swiftly on then to the last topic. That's Nightwing, and apparently it's still in development. I didn't even know. I did. I mean, the DC world is so convoluted right now. Why the fuck not? Throwing everything. And there's probably an alternate version of a Joker in this film as well, and we'll probably get a new Joker out of that. And so, in my mind, I'm invested in the Suicide Squad that's coming out in a few days, but beyond that, it's so convoluted that I don't know if I care. Should I care? Why should I care? And I don't know. Someone else take over.
For me, if I was in charge of Warner's, what I'd be doing is I would be dividing up my universes and establishing which characters are sharing which universe with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the beginning of the movies, establish which Earth you're in.
Yeah.
This is Earth 2, this is Earth 64, 29, whatever it is. Just establish where you're at so you know what to expect. Am I expecting this actor to return as this character? Is this a Ben Affleck Batman? Is this, Michael Keaton Batman? Who does he relate to? Is it somebody completely different? So that's kind of how I'd like to see it happen. But look, there is a lot of DC content out there. So you obviously got the CW shows, you've got Titans, you've got the new Batgirl movie that's happening. There's just so much stuff going on. They're filming Flash now, and you've got Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck in that. It's all over the place. So
like you say, I tell you what, guys, let's try and keep it just on the Nightwing property and our thoughts on Chris McKay doing it, because I can see that every time we talk DC titles, we go into how much WB mismanaged the property.
But it's
easy to say.
But it is. It's convoluted.
I get that, but it's the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but then what I'm saying is, I can't get excited for a project that I don't understand.
Yeah.
So the character doesn't mean enough to me to say, oh, I'm really looking forward to a Nightwing show, because I don't know where it sits in the universe. So I don't know what it's going to consist of. So for me, I'm not fussed about it. It'll be what it'll be, and I'll have to wait and see. So that's kind of why I was kind of leading up to, because it is so disjointed, unless you're a particular fan of a certain character, you'll find it hard to get excited about these things until you know where it sits.
My big question is it animated? I mean, this is the director of the Lego movies, right?
No,
yeah,
is it not?
I mean, they've made films as well.
10 times more hyped for this if it was Lego Nightwing.
So would I, actually. At least I know I'll get a laugh out of it.
That's the thing. I have zero interest in Nightwing as a character, really. It's just like Robin, but he's a bit more like Batman. And there's so many more interesting characters they could pick. They could have been like, hey, we're doing Martian Manhunter. I'd be like, cool. Haven't seen that really on the big screen much. But no, they chose Nightwing, the most milquetoast boring character they've got in their lineup, pretty much.
Yeah, that was my point anyway. That it's why should anyone care about Nightwing? Why? You haven't done Batman justice. You haven't done Superman justice. Even if, as you say, Satch, if we were just focusing on this, why the fuck should I care about Nightwing?
Because this is Dick Grayson, so you have to have an association with
Joker,
Batman in effects to make it kind of work. So because there'll be loads of freaking flashbacks to his parents dying, so it's a revenge story basically on the same, because the director, like Chris McKay, he said it's a revenge story. So I suppose he's just going to still be revenging about his parents. So it is just Batman, but just in a different form.
So it's weird because I'm not excited about this. Like when it says that Warner Brothers and DC are making a movie, excitement is not the first thing that comes to mind. Fear is usually the first. Right? But in regards to Nightwing, I'm like, if there are ways to do it right. There are ways that you can do it right, because Batman is Batman, and there's no shaking, there's no other one, there's no way of not having Batman as defined as he is. But it's defining Batman through someone else's eyes. He is Batman. He is the man. He is that guy. But what do you see? If basically, if Batman was your dad, you see him in different light. You see him in different moments. So it's like seeing a Nightwing. I'm like, the first thing I want to see is the fight that breaks out, which causes Robin to quit and go on to become Nightwing. I want to see that, because it's, the fracturing of that relationship.
Have you watched Titans?
Yes. And
They've done Nightwing in Titans.
Because that's the thing. That was the point I was going to get to, was that the problem is this night. It's the problem with all of the properties, which is when you have so many different incarnations of the same characters. Eventually, you're going to run into a position where one person does it better than someone else, and if the best incarnation of a character isn't the incarnation that has the most money being spent on it, you have a problem, because people are going to be like, well, I don't care how much money you spend on this, I prefer that. So, you know, we've got Titan season 1, season 2, and season 3 is about to drop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're making a Nightwing movie.
Mm-hmm.
You got, look,
on top of Matt Reeves' Batman movie.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and that looks like it's going to be great. I say that with extreme sarcasm.
Really? I think it's going to be fantastic.
Do you know what? I like Matt Reeves' vision, but the guy who's playing Batman doesn't seem to want to play Batman, and that's what.
Trust me, this Batman's going to be freaking awesome. Wait and you see.
I hope so. I just hope so. I hope that. I hope.
Less faith in that movie than you do.
I mean, that's something up for debate as well, which I guess we'll carry on next time. Jerome, what do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, if this was 10 years ago, I would be excited for a Nightwing movie, but like now I'm just the DCU is screwed, and like you said, he's in Titans. I think they did a decent job of trying to do that character, and so what else can you do and tell that story of Nightwing? It's hard to do now that we've seen a version of it already. I don't know, maybe it's too little too late, maybe it could be something good, because they are trying to set up this universe with new characters, like a new Superwoman and all this, so who knows. I'm not excited, but I would still watch it though, because I do like the character of Nightwing, so I would go for it. Yeah,
get DC, get your, as Morty says, get your shit together. Put it in a shit store, sell it. I don't know. I don't give a shit. Just make sure you've got it together. Get your shit together. Anyway, yeah. Does anyone have anything else to say on this?
Yeah, Warner Brothers, the best thing you can do right now is give your properties to me.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to see the head of Warner.
Creative Control can sort that universe out quick time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this has been an epic podcast. Well, I'm going to bring this to an end now. Does anyone have anything to plug? I know one person that does.
Yes, you can check out the Creative Control movie podcast on YouTube and anywhere that you can download a podcast from. So if you like to, basically we do concepts, so we discuss what we do with franchises, how we fix movies, and then we do movie reviews, trailer reviews. So yeah, come and join us.
Fantastic. Anyone else have anything to plug?
What Ken said.
Jerome, Sam, anything? Any products you like to?
I'd like to plug that people don't spend their money on Black Widow. Whatever you do.
So remember how I said someone called me to congratulate me for my Black Widow review?
Right.
That was Sam.
Oh,
Go
okay.
check out the Creative Control Black Widow review, and you'll see Sasha's thoughts on that.
Oh, superb.
I found out I had COVID a few days after watching Black Widow, and the friends I'd watched it with were all saying to me, "Wouldn't it, the worst thing than getting COVID would be getting it because we watched Black Widow?" in that situation.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You cursed yourself. Oh boy. I can't even think. I don't know where to go with that. That was brilliant. This podcast, same copy and paste Ked statement. It's in places and on YouTube. So on that note, guys, it's been great. This is the Zedos Game podcast, and we're out. Go on, do it. Come on.
I am the man that killed Jamie Lannister.